So to start off, I want to first say, thank you for taking the time. You are the first interviewer we have right now doing this, and I wanted to get someone that I personally been noticing not only in my own feeds and seeing their content, but I want to get somebody who is also somewhat new to me because we've only met probably like a month ago right now, and just the wild out support that you have given for not only people in this kick world, but just for the people who are close to you and the love you've been showing towards them has been like immaculate.
Yep.
So when I go into your streams and I see your Twitter feeds and I hear you talk, you always have this heart and wisdom for genuinicity. How important is it, do you think, for streamers and content creators to be genuine with their audience and the people who view them and all that?
Uh, I mean, honestly, I think that's probably like the biggest thing that since I've streamed that I've learned, um, is to be genuine. I think when I first started, it was like, you know, before I go into it, I mean, 2013 was the first year I ever streamed. So I've been doing it for quite a bit now. But back then it was like, all right, this is cool. I can play video games and make some money off it, that type of thing. But you quickly find out like if you're not a real person and you're not like true to yourself and true to the people that watch you, like no one's gonna want to watch you. Like you can be as good as a game as you want, but if you're is cursing okay? Because I curse a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. You can
All
do
right,
what
all
you
right.
want. Do what you want.
But if you're a dick to
Mm-hmm.
people that come into your stream and stuff, like no one's gonna want to come back to you. And I think it unfortunately it just takes a long time for. It took me a couple years honestly to understand that you know it people want to see you at your highest, they want to see you at your lowest, they want to see you when you're happy, sad, upset, pissed, whatever it is. um and I think it's just a mental gap. Like once you get over that mental gap of like these people aren't gonna like shit on you for like crying on stream or you know being mad or being pumped up about something, then it's huge. And that's when you start seeing like people come back and back and back because they like the connection, um for you as a streamer, as a real person, instead of just someone that they're sitting on the side of the screen watching a game. Like there's definitely people that they watch because they're the best at Fortnite or they're the best at whatever. But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people watch streamers because they like the personality they have. They connect with them. They like, the biggest compliment I ever got one time was that I read my chat. As dumb as that sounds, it's like, you know what I mean? Like the fact that I can't believe you read your chat. I'm like, well, what do you
Oh,
mean? They're like, well, a lot
yeah.
of people just don't read your chat if you're not like subscribed to them or something like that.
I think you bring up a really good point, and that's something that that always like gets me on my heart. So like when I when I like to watch content creators, like when I'm being the viewer, not like even the streamer, when I go to
Yep.
like somebody's stream or somebody's channel or whatever it may be, the two things I like to do is find out like how personable and how connected they are with their audience, with their community, with their whatever it is. And the second thing is they just got to be playing or doing something that I'm into at the moment. So
Yep.
like it's very easy. So if I'm on YouTube for one example and I'm watching a baseball video on
Yeah.
the history of baseball and I'm looking at the comments and this guy's just talking about baseball in his comments with his the people viewing him, that's something that makes me want to come back because like
Yeah.
it's easy for content to get better if you're trying. It's not as easy to just do content all day long and not build an audience and not engage with them. And especially with streaming, with how live and personable it is, I love building connections with streamers. I love building connections with the chat and with
Mhm.
people just in general. So
Yep.
when I see a streamer who's like hardcore in their game, I know that they're probably not going to read chat, so I can either wait or understand that they're playing the game. But some people in chat don't really understand that as well. Like you'll be in the middle of a Warzone dogfight and like you'll be focused for the last 5 minutes because you're the last person alive. You're trying to stay alive, so you're not going to be reading chat. You got to hear everything, got to focus. And then they're like, "Hey, you didn't read my message like 10 minutes ago." Like I was doing something. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
But
100%. I think it's like, and there's been definitely times even like here where like I'll go, because when I get off streamer, I'm not on stream. Like I like meeting new people, and I'm sure
mhm,
you probably have a question I'll explain later about like my tactics I do when I find people and connect, that kind of thing, whatever. But
mhm,
like I can't stand when I'm like going into a chat just trying to meet someone with a like new
mhm,
and you type like three things, and I can't remember who it was. I was watching somebody, they rated somebody else. I was like, hey, another new connection. Let me say, and I asked like all these questions, like, well, what do you think about this? They're playing COD. Like, what do you think about ranked? Oh, it's okay. What do you think about this? Oh, it's okay. And that's all I got. And now I'm not. I don't want to be like, well, I'm never going back again. But it definitely puts an ear. Like, you don't know if they're having a bad day. They could have. Maybe they're just a
Mm-hmm.
little nervous to talk. And there's definitely those aspects of it where you have to like. And I'm not gonna. I'll go back and another time and see, is this the kind of their personality, or is this just
Mm-hmm.
them like nervous after a raid and they have so much stuff going on, that kind of thing. So
Right.
I think it's just like you have to, you just have to like interact with your people. Like if you are interacting with people like more often than not, like you're gonna get more people coming back. That's just my opinion on it. Like you could be really great at the game, and obviously people are
Mm-hmm.
gonna watch you. Um, but for me personally, I like to see, just like you, I like to see people that I connect with, that talk, that are good energy, good people, and have the same kind of views. And
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty easy once you're genuine with someone. Like people keep coming back once you kind of like let your guard down, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
You get a lot more support and love and things that you never thought were possible, just by kind of letting your guard down about what you might find stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They might be like, well, that's really cool that you opened up to me about XYZ, and you know I'm gonna keep coming back because you're this kind of person. So
Absolutely. I think connection is a major key when it comes to not only growth just for you and your channel and your community, but just overall in general. Because, like, even though in a realistic sense, this is a business, most businesses still make connections with their clientele. They still make connections with other businesses to work together with each other. So why do some, like, I guess my thing is, like, I know some streamers get stuck in what I call like these mental boxes of what they
mhm,
think streaming should be, because they either see it in other big streamers. So like if you see like any of like these big streamers like not really reading chat, or they're just so focused on the game, and that's what got them into there, they're gonna have that mental
mhm,
box perception of that's how I should stream. I've known some semi-pro Valorant players that were like so hardcore and being the best, and they just don't read chat because some of the people that they watch either don't read chat or they're too busy trying to show off being the best. Now, if that's how you want to do your content, that's great. But if you're wondering why nobody's coming back, because
yeah,
I can watch anybody be good at Valorant.
yeah,
There's like 100 of you guys. Like
yeah.
it's not hard to find somebody good at Valorant.
I agree. I agree. It's there's definitely, you definitely have to have a little bit of back and forth, a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of, obviously. Oh, no, I know plenty of people I watch that aren't great at games, but they're good people and they come back, and so it's just the biggest thing is you're gonna find the community that comes to you is gonna either like you or they're not gonna like you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and if you try to be a genuine person and they don't like you, then hey, that
Mm-hmm.
you probably don't want them there anyway.
No,
So
and
it's
that's exactly how it is. Like sometimes, some people are there for your content, some people are there to build community, and you'll find out who they are eventually.
exactly,
But it just takes time on that one. And I think that most streamers get caught up in doing, having this mindset like, oh, I have to build a relationship with every audience member.
yeah,
Like I mean, honestly, I would love to build an audience with every audience member I ever get, because I like to
yeah,
show that support, but that's in reality, it's not going to happen. And
yeah,
unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
speaking on community, here's something that has been a hot take on my end that I haven't been really talking about, but this is gonna be the first time talking about. And I want to know your opinion on this. I absolutely hate the word community, and
Do you?
here's the reason why. The
Okay.
word community itself is a great word.
Yeah.
I think it represents like family. I think it represents like group of people getting together, having the same kind of goal and idea. However, I think that we bastardize that word community when it comes to streaming and it comes to content creation and anything like
Mhm.
that. So, like, here's the thing: like, when people are like, "Oh, well, like the kid community needs to do this, and this community and my community, we're doing this, and their community." Like, how many communities do we have? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm getting lost in the word community. That we're using it like a buzzword to make people feel
Yeah.
inclusive, and it's losing its value, in my opinion. So, like, I was thinking about it this way. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with saying your community, because your community is based around you, your content, and the people that you surround yourself with, and that's fine using it for that sense. But when we talk about Kick as a whole, like here's the thing that I like to think about in my mind, right? when you think about community, you think about building and growing together. You think about people with like-minded attitudes, right?
Hmm.
Do you, do you think you have that same kind of mentality and attitude with every single streamer on Twitch? Would you want to grow and and be the best of the best with every single person on Twitch, or
No,
not Twitch, Kick?
no,
But yeah,
no.
and that's the thing. Like when I think of community, I think of like a community,
Yeah,
like the word how it Titans, like a small gathering of people or a small group of people. So
yeah,
like when I've been talking about Kick, I'll either say just Kick, or I've been trying to convince people or talk to people about saying, hey, why don't you say like the Kick universe or the Kick world or the Kick sphere or whatever. Like I think that when we say the Kick community, that's it kind of like it starts losing its meaning. Like now, yeah, Kick people who may not know you when you post these things, like, oh yeah, I kind of agree with that.
yeah.
But but in my opinion, we're gonna get to a point where we keep saying community and nobody really has the true meaning of what that is anymore because we keep throwing it around like, like wildfire.
Yeah, I think a lot of people hide behind the word community too.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean is like there's a lot of people that, and honestly, you're starting to see it now. Now that Kick's kind of, it's been around for a good bit now, I would say, but really in the last like month and a half, it seems like it's kind of really exploded with things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it seems like a lot of people went from when they first started, having the right intentions of doing, XYZ, and really, building that word community like you're talking about. And now that things have changed and they've either seen success or not seen success, their mindset's completely different now. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's not a community thing, it's a me thing. And there's nothing wrong with the me thing, but don't use the word community to like put come on now, put yourself under, right? And I like Morningstar in my chat says like call it a family. I like that word better, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good word for it. Like, or Elrod's got his little group. What does he call them? Group of weirdos. Like
Yeah,
that's
group of
like, yeah,
weirdos. Yeah,
yeah,
weirdo gang. Yeah.
like stuff that's kind of like yours, right? I
Mm-hmm.
like, but it's just they have the intentions are a lot of people are there, but then once certain things happen, you can really see who's really about the quote unquote community versus
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote about themselves.
Right.
And I've got a lot of hate on some of my tweets, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna be as honestly real as possible with what I'm gonna say. It's just
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people out there that are just snakes in the grass. I mean, it's and anything, not even just streaming. I mean, in
Mm-hmm.
life in general. And I think that's the hardest thing to sift through is who's gonna be there and really like if you sat down and you thought, all right, if you want to call your group a community, who's going to be there for you night after night, who's going to be there for you day after day when you are up, when you're down, when you're there, versus
Mm-hmm.
who do you see come in and out when you're doing really well, or who do you see never when you're doing really bad, right? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of ups and downs with it, and it's crazy. Like I kind of agree. I never really thought about it like that, but I agree with you. The overarching community is not really a community at all. It's just
No.
it's it's interesting.
Because here's the thing that like kind of like sparked that into my attention because like when I see it all over Twitter, like it's like it's one thing when you're talking about your own personal community, the people that you hang out with, the people you discourse with or whatever, but when you're talking about as a general concept of like Kick, like I don't think community is the right word because not everybody wants to be part of a community. Not everybody wants to be part of a community. Some people are here literally to make money, and kudos on them, but they know that. They're not here to make things better. They're here for themselves. And that's, and all entirely, that's fine. Like I get that. That's on them. I may not like it personally, but
Yeah,
I can't stop somebody from being them and having their own motives.
yeah.
But I think what irks me and like you came from Twitch, right?
Hmm.
So you probably seen this also on the Twitch side of things, and like this goes into like the next topic on top of that is streamers acting as what I call gurus. And I use the word guru like lightly, but I love this
Yep.
because I think we all have like I don't think when someone shares one opinion they're a guru.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. You can have your opinion. I think everybody has their opinions. I have mine. You have yours. It's natural. But it's the people who constantly like the only thing they talk about is how to like do XYZ. Like, oh, this is how you network, this is how you build community, this is how you do this is how you do that. Like they think like now that they're like to a certain level they can be like the master of the art of how to stream.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a weird thing to talk about because streaming is one of the most fluid jobs you could really do, because like how we see the best ways in our opinions on how to grow and do all that, you know, through networking, building community, growing with people, net and all that kind of stuff like that. Some people find success like through pure skill, and it happens. Some people find success through just being an entertainer and not even reading chat, and it happens. But I think we have too many people trying to be these guru leaders of the XYZs when I don't even think they know that their advice doesn't fit everybody's mold. Now, I'm not saying they can't share their advice, but it's coming more rampant. And like when it was with Twitch, like when I started back in like 2018 and I really took it more seriously in 2020, it was kind of like, you know, you find a few here and there, and they're usually like a leader of a Discord group of streamers and all that. But now with Kick, it's only been like heavy since I kind of took it like Kick more seriously. And I feel like this is the like one of the main reasons I wanted to start this podcast, this kind of interview style stuff. A lot of people want to be these gurus, and they're like I think I saw one that was just like don't let anybody else tell you like how to network, but then they're also like, here's how you really network in the next tweet. I'm just like, what? Like what? Like what do you what are your thoughts on people trying to be these kind of like Kick gurus or Twitch gurus or anything like that?
I think there's definitely like a line. Like there's, you know, you have people that feel as though once they get certain monikers in a streaming platform,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., a check mark or something, that they all of a sudden know what's going on. And there's plenty of them that are some of the most humble people you know, that work. But there's a line between just like what I would call just like etiquette type of like, you know, when you like tweet something like, hey, like don't do this or don't do this in someone's stream, or just like things that people should actually know. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, like if you disagree with some of it, then it's okay, that's fine. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that's more of like a common thought process, instead of like, this is like you said, like this is how you network. Well, networking isn't the same for every person, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a platform and a service pretty much that is so unique in the way that people do it every day, that there's
Mm-hmm.
no one way to network with someone. There's no one way to set up your stream. There's no one way to uh, tweet your lives. There's no one way to talk, and you know what I mean? There's so many variables that are in there that it's hard to have like a set, like this is how you do it, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. But at the same point, those people are smart in the fact that they know that because of what they have and their platform, that a lot of people who are just starting out are going to read into that, and that's what they're going to do.
Exactly. Like some of the things that I noticed are like, especially with Twitter. Twitter's been like a heavy space for like gathering information, kind of reaching out to people. Like Twitter's been basically like the social hub for a lot of Kick streamers, I would personally say.
Oh yeah.
And if they just see just one tweet from someone that's high up there or verified or whatever it is, and they like what they say, even if it's just one thing, they're going to try to roll with what that one thing is usually half the time. Because if, you know, if I say something like, listen, like the best way to network is to be genuine, like that's just a general statement, right?
Yeah.
But if I say that and I have that check mark, and someone's like, "Oh, be genuine, yeah." And then I say, and then I say something like the next day I say something. By the way, it's like, yo, if you don't talk when you're chatting to your chatters, like if you don't talk to read the chatters, like don't bother streaming. And they're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll stop or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they'll follow these people's like word for word for the most part, or they'll feel discouraged when in actuality, there's so many ways to do this one job. Like there's no single mold. And that's what I kind of like about streaming, but at the same time it's also dangerous because there's a fine line between streaming and doing this for work and a career and a passion. Like, I usually connect people into like one of three boxes. I usually connect people into like just the everyday I want to stream for friends, I'm here for community kind of thing. Like, those are the people who don't really care about growth, or I shouldn't say that. They care about growth, but they're not like grinding for the growth, right? They're just there to have fun, meet new people, meet connections. Like, if growth comes, they're happy, but that's not the ultimate goal. They're just there to entertain, right? Then there's the people who are solely focused on just the growth, the grind, the sub count, the follow count, the view count, whatever it may be, and then they translate that to everywhere. They're worried about their Twitter interactions. They're worried about their Instagram likes. They're worried about their YouTube views. They are solely focused on that. They don't care about anything else. Like, if you make friends with them, cool. If you don't, they don't care because they know what they're doing. And then there's the people who is the main target kind of like thing of this whole interviews and these whole podcast idea, is the people who are in fear of not knowing what they want to do or how they want to do it. Because that's the idea, is that there are so many people that get afraid to even try to do different content or afraid to do something. Like, I was talking to somebody today who we're going to be interviewing later on this week, but he was telling me that sometimes people just don't feel comfortable with what they're doing, or they just feel afraid, and that being afraid stops them from either making contact, from reaching out for help or wanting to do stuff with people, or even as a viewer and as a supporter, even talking in people's chats. He was saying he had a lady in his chat that would just lurk for like months on months on months because she didn't think he was genuine. And after like a couple months of him proving himself, following through on his word and doing X, Y, and Z's, she was like, hey, like, I love your content. I've been watching you for months. And there he's like, oh, I never noticed you never talk. He's like, yeah, I've had a bad interaction before with other streamers who didn't like me when I like supporting them through lurking and all that. And I don't trust people and don't trust streamers sometimes. So like, I try to spend time in people that I want to feel is genuine or I think is genuine. And when I feel comfortable, it takes time. But like, it took that person 3 months before they said anything. And like that persona that they had with that, or that reputation they had with that previous streamer or those previous issues, transferred over into everything that we do over here as well. So like, everything takes time and everything takes like that fear. Like, it's just wild to me to think that when I was on Twitch, right, getting affiliate, you can go to almost any Discord group and they can get you there in like 3 to 5 days. It's not like rocket science.
Yeah.
And like, when I got to kick over here, that was the kind of the worried feel I had before, because I'm like, everybody's going to come over here from like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Like, we already know it. They're going to come over here for a better opportunity. They're going to come over here for better things. But like, is this going to be another beginning of Twitch kind of thing for me? Like, I don't want to get to a point where we're just like, let me do this, let me show you this, let me show you that, and then we just drop them off of the face of the earth. But that's something that I've noticed, is that like, this has probably been, in my opinion, one of the most genuine supportive groups that I've seen, like on Twitch and Kick and YouTube and all that. From when I've done streaming, Kick has been, and the Kick people and the streamers have been some of the most supportive, understanding, loving, and at least trying to network and build connections with a bunch of people. Like, what is your experience moving from one platform to the other now?
Well, I think you bring up a great point. I think the people on this platform, the streamers themselves, and even some viewers, like you're talking about the lady who lurked for 3 months. I think they all came here for a reason, and the reason was that they're tired of getting their feet stuck in the mud over on whatever app they were on, dealing with the egos and the stuff like that, and they want a fresh start. Like, they want to feel like they are accomplishing something. Like, I had a buddy that started streaming on Kick, and he was one of the dudes that had for 3 years had 1 to 2 viewers in Twitch, and he's like, man, I went to Kick and went one stream and had 10. And it's like a new thing for people. Like, there's so much there's so much change over here that everybody here for the most part has experienced the same thing. Obviously, you have your bigger, your quote unquote bigger type content creators,
Mm-hmm.
um, and obviously they brought a whole lot of people over here with them. But you have plenty of very small streamers that just wanted to try something new and wanted to try. They were tired of just feeling like they were just less than pretty much on an app that, you know, you go into a channel and there's 3,000 channels. They're number 2,999, right? And they're all the way down
Mm-hmm.
there. There's no growth there. They could try do things the right way. And on the other side with the chatter, like there's so many streams that even today I go to Twitch from time to
Mm-hmm.
time and look, and I'm just like, man, like you could be a viewer here, but you mean nothing to half these people unless you give them money.
If
And
it does feel like that sometimes,
and
yeah.
that's the sad part. It's like, obviously some people have, there's some people that have thousands and thousands of people watching them. I couldn't even imagine how hard that is to read chat. If you can read any chats in that, you're good on you, because that is someone I watch when it's like 6,000 people and the chat is just going fast. I type something, I can't even see it by the time like I look back up. Like, I don't know how you read in that, but for some of
Yeah.
these, so for some of these other ones, it's like, you know, it literally feels like sometimes people are saying things, they're not being heard, and they're just kind of sitting there like, why am I here, or why am I doing this? Or the amount of people I've talked to on Kick that are like, I came to Kick just to try it because I wanted to stop streaming altogether, and now I'm hooked again, right? Because everybody has the same struggle, everybody had the same thing going forward. They all felt like they were getting nowhere, and they came here, and it's literally like that tweet they sent. It was like a breath of a
Uh,
breath of fresh
Fresh
air
air, yeah,
for
yeah.
them, right? Like they
Mm-hmm.
feel like they have like another outlook on like what they're trying to do now. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of it. It's like, even if like you're not getting a huge sub count, or you're not getting a huge viewer count, right? That like there's people out there that are genuine people here because they've all been through the same thing. And then you can find out pretty quickly because of that who's not here for the right reasons. And I think that's what's easy to weed out here versus
Mm-hmm.
Twitch. It's you can really feel and see who's here for the right reasons, or who's here for their bag, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think a lot of us, to a certain degree, did come over here for the monetary difference. Like, we can't lie and say that
Mm-hmm.
this didn't pay a major impact, because a lot of people that I've like logged in this interview sheet, they had Twitch accounts, and some of them had like thousands, even like 10,000. The highest person I had that showed interest for interview was a partnered, is still partnered on Twitch, and has like 72,000. And when he streams on Kick, he's saying like, I've been enjoying doing it more on Kick now recently than I have had on Twitch. It's not that he doesn't love his Twitch community and what's happening over there and the hard work he's put in, but he's saying like there's just this different kind of like atmosphere over on Kick. And like some people, like, I think like there's no issue with coming over here for like the monetary difference, because like you're a creator, this is a business, you're a contracted person, you need to make money, and you want to use that money for whatever reason, whether that's to pay your bills, whether that's to, support a community, do giveaways, kind of give it back to whatever. But like we can't lie and say like that doesn't play a major impact.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the people who are here for solely a bag, like, again, me personally, it's not my room to say if that's good or bad.
Yeah.
If they want to do that solely for the bag, that's on them. It's not personally my kind of style, because I like building those connections, because I like watching streamers who build those connections. But if they're not someone who really cares about that, then they're only here for that sub count, they're only here for that money bag, they're only here for XYZ, kudos on them. Like, I don't have an issue with any of that, but like, I think there was like the stigmatism that when people came over to Kick, they're like, oh, you're only here to get the money. And I'll be like, I mean, that's a main reason. Like, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
dude. Think about getting like 45% more from what you would do on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
45%.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making more money, yeah. If someone's gonna pay me more money to do the exact same thing, and I'm gonna get the exact same like views or whatever or interactions, like you're gonna believe I'm gonna go for the more money. Like if I go to somebody right now and be like, hey, bro, you make maybe $15 at McDonald's. I got another McDonald's down the road that'll pay you 20. What do you say? They're like, just down the road. They're like, yeah, you don't have to do much. You just have to come over here. It's a new McDonald's. Like, bet, say less, $20, let's go. Most people are not going to tone down a $5
Yep.
raise, let alone a 45 increased markup from a $5 sub. Like,
Yep.
cannot fight truth and the power that money brings back to not only creators as well as the community that they want to support. Like I love seeing people succeed that didn't get to really succeed on other platforms.
Yeah.
And I think personally Kick has done a great job by having that 95-5 split. Now, whether that stays like that for the next couple years or whatever down the line is a different story. But right now, while it's here and while it's changing lives, changing the communities around them, and changing people's whole focus to do better and want to do more, I say let people run with it. What do you think about that?
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, no one knows where it's going to go to. No one knows if it's going to change. But I mean, there's no. If you want to chase it, chase it. That's all it is to it. I mean, you don't need to be, you know, coy, I guess, shy about it. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's if that's what you need to do. Like your analogy with McDonald's is probably the perfect analogy. It's like you're doing the exact same thing, but
Yeah,
you're doing it on a different app, and they're
yeah.
getting paid more for it. You're
The
putting the
only
same amount of effort in. Might as well
mm-hmm.
get rewarded for it.
Yeah,
So
the only thing you would have to do is just start all over with the reputation and everything you have. But like I said, with how crazy supportive I've seen people in on Twitter who are Kick streamers, Kick in general, and everything like that, it's like I said, it's mind blowing the genuine support. Like, yeah, you're always gonna have the people who are like, oh yeah, I'll follow you, and they just never come. Like, that's cool, that's fine, whatever, I get that. It happens. Like, I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie,
oh yeah,
but I have been on Twitch for years, and I've made a lot of friends overseas, in house, and I want to say within this short month of streaming, I've probably made the same amount of genuine connections from people that I've made on Twitch for years.
yeah,
Now, maybe that's called maybe that's why, maybe the reason why, and what I'd like to call the Kick Gold Rush, because everybody just flocked over here almost in like February and March kind of
yeah.
time, and you know that we're not, yeah, like it was a gold rush, gold mine, and it's still, and people are still coming. That's the thing. Like, not to say the gold rush is over, but like people are still wanting to support genuine people.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing, is that like one of the people that I love dearly, who we're going to be interviewing, I have to reach out to him, Dark Bullet.
Mhm.
I love Dark Bullet. Bro, like I remember I went to one of his streams, and bro, we just sat there while he was playing Call of Duty, and we were just speaking truth about the streaming world, content world, and all that. And when I see what he does on Twitter every day, how he just constantly shows support towards people, because he's like, listen, I know I'm going to get there, basically. I know I'm going to be doing my thing. And what my thing is supporting those who I want to support.
Yep.
And the amount of support he does on a daily basis, I think is like one unheard of. Like I never saw that at all on Twitch, on YouTube, on anything like that.
No.
In that, it just, but like the pure love and the pure support that he has poured out is immaculate. And I see that from a lot of people. I see people retweeting other people's streams while they're even streaming. I see people, you know, just going into chats and you know, just letting people know, like, have a great day. Like I had somebody come into my chat last night. He's like, hey, I don't know who you are, but I saw you're playing New World. I hope you just have a great day and have a good night. And I'm like, all right, all right. Two in the morning. I'm like, bro, are you good?
Yeah.
But like
No,
that's the thing. It's so wild that a lot of people who have been part of this kind of like broken-hearted system
mhm.
kind of felt their heart revive almost coming over here.
Well, I did see too that the demographic here is median ranged too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mid 20s to mid 30s is
Mm-hmm.
kind of the norm here too, which brings another aspect of it's, you know, more okay, sounds wrong, but basically more mature people who are there. They understand, have been through certain things, and
Mm-hmm.
and so I think, you know, they see that, you know, like I said before, they see that they didn't have success on this app, right? Before they came here, and they're not having success. Well, they know how it felt that when you didn't have success. So they know when they see someone that's not, you know, not doing how they thought they would be doing or whatever, they try to help out in as many ways as they can, because they know that they were in that spot, you know, a year ago, 6 months
Mm-hmm.
ago, 2 years ago, whatever it is. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've noticed, is that it's definitely like Debbie said, a more mature audience that
Mm-hmm.
understands where everyone's come from because they personally, for the most part, live through those experiences too. So they don't want other people to go through that. And if if all it is them retweeting something or tweeting something out or just showing up in chat for 10 minutes and saying, "Hey, what's up?" And talking, you never know how much that's going to impact someone's day. And I think that's the difference right now that I'm seeing. It's like, you rarely ever see uh on Twitch like a one after they stream one big streamer going into someone else's stream
Mm-hmm.
or retweeting something else. And that's probably for a
Yeah.
variety of reasons. One probably is they probably have like, they don't want to be like fanboyed in someone else's stream, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same point, they I think that, like, it's more of like a me against the world type thing over there versus everyone here has had that same experience that sucks. I mean, it sucks. I mean, it's not fun to stream for months and months and months and months, years in a row with less than 5 people. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because, the fact is, most people that do this, they don't just sit on their computer and press the go live button and then play games for 2 hours, then get off. They're doing all these things in the background. They're putting hours in. They're not sleeping, a full night's sleep. They're not doing all these things. And for them to go on to the other one
Mm-hmm.
and have zero success, they're like, what? Like, what am I doing? But I think once they come over here, they see the success and they see other people who might be struggling. They know how much that sucked. They're like, all right, you know, if I can only give this person 10 minutes of my day right now before I have to go to work or before I have to go to bed or before I have to do whatever and show them a little bit of love, you never know how that's going to uplift somebody. Same with like a tweet,
Mm-hmm.
right? You could retweet someone's tweet who has 10 views and you get them to 110 views on their tweet or whatever and another couple likes. That might be someone that you just made their day because you did something that takes no effort out of your day. Zero at all. You click a button and there you go. And that's all it is.
Absolutely. Now, when I know we've been basically sweet talking how great the transition from Twitch to
Mhm.
Kick or any kind of platform to Kick is, but I'm not gonna lie, there has been something that's been weighing on my heart in the background. I try not to speak it into existence, but it's something that I do feel that kind of needs to be addressed eventually. Um, the fallout of this golden heart era. Now, do I think people are going to stop being genuine and stop supporting others? No, I don't think that's going to be the case. But like the growth that we have now, in my opinion, obviously not like anybody else's, I think it comes from this transition from everybody coming from one side to another. Now, the transition is not going to be fully complete because you're going to constantly have people going back and forth, and that's fine. But I remember back on Twitch, they're like like Twitch was horrible about showing you off basically.
Mhm.
Like Pokemon would say, like you want to grow as a streamer, you have to grow other places. You got to do TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and all that kind of jazz on top of streaming, which is fine. I still think people should be doing that to a degree, but like when I go to like TikTok and I go to like Instagram, if I ever go on there, or I go to any kind of content platform, I'm not seeing a lot of Kick streamers really pushing that same kind of grind to get noticed and get people coming in from whatever they do.
Mhm.
And what I think of that, what that relates to, is from people having such already good success from just genuine people on the app.
Yeah.
Like I like that. I have no issue if they have genuine success and they're comfortable with where they are. That's fine. But I feel, as personally me, we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna either stagnate or we're gonna start seeing a decline of that. Do you think it's still important for content creators that do just more than streaming, or even just stream, to still continue to do stuff like on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or XYZ, whatever they do to kind of grow?
Oh, 1,000%. I can agree with everything you said. And, me personally, like I don't even know. The other day I woke up, I was like, man, I have not posted on TikTok or in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that's because there is a little the clipping feature, and this is kind of weird and buggy, and you kind of have to record your streams and then go in and clip, and there's things that are a little bit of more of a pain in the butt than there is on Twitch. That's part of it, but part of it is, I agree with you, people are seeing success and they're just like, well, do I really need to do that? um and so for me personally, that's something I'm trying to get back into. is
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's super important to be active on different things. Whether people want to come to you or not, that's up to them. But I think you're doing yourself a disservice by not doing it. You know, as you can spend as much time or as little time on as you want, but I think you need to be active on other things. And I think there's a lot of people that are like me that are like, oh, well, I actually literally just forgot about it, or I just, I used to, but
Mm-hmm.
you've seen a success and now you do. But I do think it's going to start to get a little bit stagnant, and I think it already kind of has for some people, um, where things are starting to get less and less genuine,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. And I think, excuse me, the one thing I noticed the most,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of is an overarching theme within streaming in general, not even just Kick, but Twitch in general, but because of the way that Kick is their payout is designed, is that as soon as you see a certain person, whether that be they could be whatever their stream name is, once you see them go off in somebody's chat and gift subs and stuff like that, then you start seeing you know that people go to their stream not because they want to actually know who that person is, but because they want the chance to hopefully them come in and drop a bomb on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you're going to start seeing more and more and more, which is going to turn into what Twitch is that the people start seeing who's on top of gifted leaderboards, and then they start going to their stream not for the right reasons. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think we're getting real close to that. And I've seen it even like in the last couple of weeks more and more and more. Um, and some of them are people that I know closely that I've literally said, not watch out, but just be like, hey, make sure you like really know who is talking with you, what their intentions are,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. If you make a connection with somebody that's new that comes to your stream, that's great. But if you only see somebody that comes in every once in a while because you just somebody shouted you on Twitter for dropping a bomb on them, then
Mm-hmm.
then you have to kind of like weed, sit there through the grass and weed through it and figure out like what is this really like. Um, but I think we're starting to get to that point. Honestly, it's sad to say, but I think we're starting to get to that point where less and less people are genuine,
Mm-hmm.
and less people are doing what they need to be doing outside of it. And and partly because of the success, but partly I think people struggle with it because I don't think people are going to get on this app versus Twitch. I think that
Mm-hmm.
is holding some people back as well, saying, well, there's streamers coming to the app, but how many viewers are really coming to the app to view?
Yeah.
That's kind of and I wish we could kind of see the analytics on that, because it'd be interesting to see like how many, because right now to me it feels like we're like 95% dominated by streamers,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of their viewers are just people that came with whoever their favorite streamer is, and they might
Mm-hmm.
venture out from time to time, but I think for the most part everybody here is pretty much streamers. And I think they're afraid that, they're like, well, why waste the time on making TikToks or Reels or YouTube Shorts or whatever if it's the same people over and over and over again? Like, why am I going to get little Jimmy's not going to download the Kick app, So I
Mm-hmm.
think I
True.
think that's definitely a little bit. I don't want to say all, but definitely plays a role for some people.
No, I definitely agree. I feel like I kind of say it like this: we kind of got out of our honeymoon phase about
Mm-hmm.
like a couple weeks ago, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and we're still coming out of it. Like we're never going to be fully in or fully out of one way or another. But I'm like how you mentioned, like people are like going to channels seeing like this high gifted subs, and then just basically going to those people's channels, basically trying to prey on them. I kind of see also the other side of it where people are just dropping gifted subs for the attention for
Yep.
them. Like
Yep.
it's mind blowing that it's coming to this point that like this life-changing money, this life-changing thing, people don't see, because like I said, I don't know their intentions behind it. Either they don't see the damage that they possibly are doing trying to get people to come over there, or the perception that they have when people do that kind of stuff like that. Because like we as one streamer, so let's say let's say little Billy, that's just a fake twit like Kick name. Little Billy drops like 50 gifted subs. 50 gifted subs is a lot of money, and it's a very big thing. It's awesome. We'd love to see it. Love to show support to those people. but we don't see what he's doing to other people's chats. Little Billy could be dropping 50 gifted subs on like 10 people's chats,
Yeah.
trying to get people's attention or using it to like clout farm on Twitter. Like we changing people's lives and this and that. Like, yeah, you are, like, not saying you're not, but why are you doing this? Like, why are you showing it off? Like, you could have just done this without the tweet. You could have just done this without doing anything. Like, I think most people who have come from another streaming platform to this one would just be happy to have either that view count or that connection of somebody just talking in their chat. Like, you didn't have to give 50 subs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still one of those people who, like, if you give me a sub, I'm still like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm grateful for your money. Thank you. I'm grateful for the support. But, like, you could have just sat in here and not done shit and just stared at my fucking face for like 20 minutes. And I would have been content with that. Like, that's how I am. But it's just wild that we're seeing so many things come to light. And like how you said, there's so many kind of snakes in the garden, and we're kind of like, personally, we're kind of seeing them. Mm-hmm. Like, we may not be the vigilante, we're not going to call out every, snake in the grass. Yeah. But if we notice something, we're not going to pretend like we didn't see it.
Yeah. No, and I think the other aspect too that I think people sometimes, which is really hard to do, and I like to consider like myself like Switzerland, the old like, we're not getting involved in this side or this side. We're just gonna we're gonna stay in our lane and do it. So, unless something really like personally comes after me or does something like that, for the most part, I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. Like, there could be somebody that is in my chat 99% of the time, and I know that they're not there for the right reasons, but I'm not going to say anything because that doesn't benefit me. It doesn't benefit them. It just starts, certain things. But I do agree with you about the tweets. Personally, in my opinion, they annoy me too.
Yeah.
Seeing like, what would you do if I, drop this? And I'm not here to say whether they do or not. They very well could be say, well, I said I was going to do this and I did this. That's fine. Great. Awesome. I'll eat my words all day long on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you need to go and advertise you're going to drop the subs on people. And that's just my opinion. If you're going to drop them, go drop them.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, do it.
I kind of have the same mentality. That's like waving a bag of money and like, all right, we're about to go do something, and you're like, you could have just done this without saying anything. Like, and you still would have changed people's lives.
And I think there's levels to it. This is downside. There's levels to it that annoy me.
Oh yeah.
There's one level that is just like, whenever I get my payout, like, I'm gonna be, really helping people out. That doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. It's when it's like the screenshot of the what's it called, the gift numbers,
yeah,
and then it says, drop your own link below, that kind of thing. And that's why personally, like, when people like drop my link and stuff like that, I'm like, don't put, like, I really appreciate it, don't get me wrong, that you thought of me to put me in there, but I'm like you, like, I don't care about, just the money side of things. Like, all my sub money and stuff, either goes back to people or it goes to other, causes that, I'm very involved with. And so that's like, I'm like you, like, I would rather have 50 people in my chat talking up a storm, keeping me entertained, because honestly, like, they entertain me as much as I entertain them. Like,
absolutely.
Like, that's half of it. So I'd rather have that and 10 subs than I would have 1,700 subs and nobody talk to me at any time, and just, people drop in and gift it and leave. So,
yeah.
So it's definitely like that one really kind of gets me going sometimes. It's like the freaking
yeah.
And so I feel so grateful that people are like putting me in those things, like, hey, like, he definitely deserves. I'm like, no, like, put yourself in there.
Yeah.
You put yourself in there. I don't personally want, like, need it that much. Like, I want to make people like, and that's my biggest goal with streaming, is like, if I can make someone laugh or smile or have a great day, like, that's all I care about. And I just do this for fun. Like, if I have time during the day, like, I'm streaming for fun anyway. I got 2 dogs, and that's like, I mean, people come to my stream more for the damn dogs than they do for me, honestly. So, you
I
know,
mean, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, those dogs are pretty cute.
yeah, right, right. I mean, I'm still working on. The only thing my sub money's gonna go to this point is getting a doggy cam, so they can.
I'm telling you, man, you do that, you're done. You don't even have to show your face on
That's what
stream
I'm saying.
anymore.
I might just turn my cam off and just put it over there, and they can just watch the dog sleep all day.
Exactly.
You're right. Like,
But that's something else that you like. I want to touch upon as well. Like it's like I have like a three. You touch on three different things, and I gotta like
yeah,
go in order.
yeah. Go ahead.
The first one I want to talk about is like the reputation we carry ourselves and our identity, not only as streamers but as ourselves.
Yeah.
So like I think personally that no matter how you present yourself as a streamer, whether it's your persona or name, so when I say persona, like when I say like stream persona or persona, it's just who you are. Like you be like Vit. Like I'm not gonna say your real name if you don't want people to know, because people do that for a reason. Like some people don't care. Like I don't care if people know my name. His real name is Mike. People call me Meme. People call me Mimi. I don't really care if you mess up my name. It's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
But some people are very adamant on who they are and the persona or the identity that they carry. Like, so for me, I don't care if you mess up my name. I don't care if you know, whatever it is. The only thing I care about is that you know that I try to do my best to be as genuine as possible. I try to do my best to be as real as possible. And I try to show love, not to get your attention, but just because I care about you. So it's kind of like a toss and turn when people do stuff like that. So like if I gift a sub to, let's say, one of my friends, I want to show them support. I have a little bit extra money that I've been saving up. I want to give them some love. And then they post a tweet about the gifted subs and all that. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to show support to those who are showing them support. But I'm worried that like when people see those tweets, they're just going to see me as like someone who just gives subs and money bags. You know what I mean?
I personally DM people.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody really shows me a lot of love, then I personally will DM them and thank them,
Mm-hmm.
and send them something, not send them something, that
Yeah,
send them
yeah.
a nice like a heartfelt message, like how much I appreciate it. Because honestly, when I first started streaming, I didn't know the difference, right? I was that little Billy and Jimmy that would give subs to people,
Mm-hmm.
hoping that people would come to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's why, like, part of my like mentality on things is because I've been that person that does it, so I know how it is on the back end when it doesn't work out the way you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you there's a lot of people you think that are your friends or stuff because you do certain things, but turns out they're not. When you're stop Once the money
Mm-hmm.
stops, you stop. And
Oh yeah.
so that's why I personally start just DMing people when they are really great people and they bless me, because I think it's more personal for me to send you a message than it is for me to tweet something about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And
think you get a better connection with somebody doing that than tweeting it, and then that person gets 20
mm-hmm.
random people he doesn't even know
Mm-hmm.
following him, liking all his stuff, going into his stream just because he was nice enough to gift me or you or whoever it is subs. And I think that's definitely that's an interesting one.
Yeah, because like it's on one end you're grateful for them shouting you out for supporting and all that. Like you understand their heart behind it, and that's the hard part. Is that you know it's not coming from a bad place. You know it's coming from a good place. Like they're not just shouting you out so you get the attention or whatever. They just want to say like, hey, thank you to these people and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like it has like it could have some negative effects because it's drawing attention to you in other places, which if people, and I say this, and this is my personal opinion, like people are bad until they give you a reason for them to be good.
Yeah.
Like that's how I view people. I know it's cynical, but that's just how I grew up, and that's just how I been experiencing people. So like most people on the internet are probably going to be the same way until they give you a reason to show you they're not.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to decipher who is and who isn't, because somebody could be fake to your face and then be like, so where are my gifted subs? And you'd be like, what are you talking about? And some people could just be like, hey, you don't have to gift me subs, I don't care, I just know you're a genuine person, I like seeing genuine people. But it's so hard to decipher between the two. because we don't have that face-to-face interaction. We don't know those people, and now we're being broadcasted as somebody who supports people by giving them money or giving them subs or helping them grow. And somebody can see that for the wrong reasons, and some people can see that for the right reasons. So it has a dual-edged sword effect, and that's always like a dangerous battle line. And some people don't mind it. Some people are like, listen, if someone thinks they gift themselves and they're gonna get mad they don't give subs, they probably shouldn't be in my chat anyways, and I'll probably like not even deal with them anyways. Like it's a one-time shit experience. Like, where's my gift of subs? So I'll be like, what are you talking about? And then we never talk again, kind of thing. Yeah. But then sometimes it's like people generally think that since they see you all the time gifting subs, they're like, hey, I'm struggling, I do this. I'm like, hey, listen, I get you're struggling, and if I have the opportunity, I would love to help build that connection and all that. But then when you don't help them right away, they're like, well, you help these people. I'm like, yeah, because I support their content. I support them. Like, just like, I don't have like newsflash, I hate to say this, but like, I don't support every streamer. Like, if someone wants to stream, I support them in following their dreams, but I'm not going to support every streamer financially. If I was supporting every streamer financially, I would love every streamer who I support financially to support me back so I could pay for it back.
Yeah, if I'm going to be a sugar daddy, I better get some love back.
Yeah, exactly. But that, and like something else that you also brought up is like the tweets. So one thing that like I always been griping about, and you probably seen it on Twitter, is that I absolutely can't stand streamers that just talk about streaming. Yeah. Like, the only people that I know that just talk about streaming are the people who are just, that's all their personality is, that all the persona it feels like is, and that's all they care about. Now, you can have a passion for streaming. You can have a passion for video games. You can have a passion for whatever you're doing. I'm not saying you can't. But I feel like we get lost in this persona on social media of who we are and what we're going through. Now, I'm not going to dog someone who's getting support and wants to show it off, because that's just nice. If they're getting the love that they think they deserve and they want to show off to the community what's going on, the achievements, I have no issue with that. My issue is that it's constantly all the time. Yeah. So like, I see a lot of verified kick streamers almost daily after their streams, like, look at all the gifted subs that are changing the community. I'm like, yes, that's cool and all. Like, I get you're trying to show off what the community is doing for you. Oh, my alarms are going off. Hold up. I thought I didn't have the alarms. Well, I don't have the recording, so it's all good. But yeah, it's just wild for me to think about that. It's wild for me to think that when we get to these kind of situations where we talk about like social media presence and all that, the more people share stuff like their successes, even though like some of them are doing it for good reasons, some of them are doing it for bad, it makes me not want to go back and view their tweets and their comments and even want to like block them. Like, I will say this to anybody who has success on any platform, wants to show it off. Kudos to you. Like, congratulations. I'm not going to dog you on getting gifted subs, getting followers, getting whatever. That you are a business, and if you want to show up success for your business, that's fine. But if that is the only thing you talk about, that's the only thing that is in your social media presence. Like, if I go down to your feed and I don't even see one thing about you as a human individual or what you're going through or what's like a humanistic aspect, yeah, it makes me feel like you're just a business person. It makes me feel like I don't want to build a connection with you, because all you're going to talk about to me and all you're going to talk about is streaming and your streaming successes. Like, if you look at almost any other major streamer on their Twitter, 99% of those fuckers are saying the stupidest fucking things possible. Like, I love, like, one of my examples I always do is Tim the Tap Man. Like, he will always show his thumbnail, and when he tweets when he goes live, he'll give shit to Zygo Media. That's fine. They do that because they have their relationship. But like 90% of his tweets is either him talking about the Cowboys, him talking about fucking food, him talking about Mountain Dew, or him talking about New York or Florida where he's from, or just talking about random stuff, or just giving shit. Like that's humanistic aspect. And to know the fact that he will dog on his friends on the internet for fun is that connection for me to realize, oh, this dude's a human. This dude's not a robot. This dude's not a fucking actor on the fucking Hollywood Boulevard. This dude is a human, and I love the human part of him. That makes me want to come back. And like, it irks me. And like, I have nothing, and like I said, you want to be that Twitch guru, you want to be that kick guru, you want to be that kick guy who has all the answers, by all means you can do that. And if you're people who come and interact with your tweets and see that you're genuine and all that, that's fine. But for me, as somebody who's been around the platform, and I say this like, as another coworker in the industry, like, have a little humanistic aspect. Like, like if you share a picture of your fucking dog, share a picture of your meme, talk about your family, talk about whatever. If you don't want to talk about your personal life, that's fine, but be human. I think we get lost in the money aspect. I think we get lost in our personas and how we present ourselves in the industry and the internet. We get so fucking lost. And like, I'm coming to a point where I'm just gonna be like, listen, Twitter is such a great viable tool and we are bastardizing it to where I know I'm not the only one who feels the same way. And I know, like, if this comes to a point, people are gonna start blocking your tweets. You're gonna stop looking at your tweets. People are gonna start muting you or whatever. Because like, they still want to support you, but they just don't want to see the crap you have to keep constantly talk about like Kick or Twitch or YouTube or whatever. Like,
I think that goes too with what you're saying though. I think most of those people
mhm,
probably saw that at some point. You know, like you said, they view themselves as a business, and I think they probably saw that from someone they looked up to at one point. That's what they were doing, and so they're like, all right, well, this is what I have to do because this is my streaming Twitter.
mhm,
This is my personal Twitter, right? This is my streaming Twitter. It's my business side of things. I think where it kind of ties into the guru side of things. They probably saw that somewhere. And they're like, okay, I have my personal Twitter, and then I got this Twitter. Well, why can't
mhm.
you just have them be one, right?
Yeah,
It being
that.
it being one brings a more genuine audience to you than just your streaming aspect.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I know streamers that, like big streamers that have two accounts. Like, they'll have like an alt account for, because they have sponsorships, and if they know they say stupid shit, they're gonna
Yeah,
put their stupid shit on the alt account so it doesn't affect the business. And I get that. Like, some people don't have that issue. Like me, I don't have that issue. If I say something
yeah,
stupid and a sponsor's like, "Hey, we don't want to support you," I'll be like, "All right, I'm not gonna change who I am, but
yeah,
okay." But even the streamer Valkyrie, she was like, "I have two Twitter accounts, and I don't even understand why." Like,
yeah,
half the time I'm posting the wrong thing to the wrong Twitter account. Like, I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna be genuine on my Twitter account. I'm only going down to one. And like I said, like another one, like Cloaksy, who I like watching from time to time, he has two because he knows he says some stupid fucking things,
yeah,
and instead of ruining it for his main Twitter and the sponsors that he has an alt and he says all the
yeah,
stupid things he wants to on his alt. Like, will that still not impact his business and his sponsorships if the people find out? Who knows? But
yeah,
he said he'd rather be safe and do that versus have it be affecting on his main account where his sponsors, his people, and people who give him money may see some of this stuff.
yeah,
Which, like I said, I get. But at the same time, he's still a human on his main account.
yeah,
He doesn't just talk about streaming. He talks about, hey, what game should I play? Should I play CS:GO 2 today? I don't know. I'm not feeling it kind of today. Has anybody played this? Has anybody done that? Like, I think like we get lost. And like, kind of like what I would love to tell people is that, like, listen, if you want to be this kick guru, this networking guru, or whatever you want to be, the guru of whatever social media, just start a website and do a web fucking video series, do a fucking master class, and then just promote that shit and just leave me the fuck alone,
yeah.
kind
Give me a
of.
TikTok. Give me a TikTok about your side hustle and
Yeah.
how you're making 10 grand a month. Let me know.
Listen, I found the greatest way to network, and you should be doing this right now.
No, I think that's the biggest part, and I think it just ties back into being genuine. Like, and I think it's twofold. People probably see it as a business, like I said, but then
Mm-hmm.
there's also an aspect where I'm sure there's people that are generally nervous to share aspects of their life that they think people might look down on, or think is kind of weird, or like,
Mm-hmm.
why are you telling me this type of thing. And honestly, like, I think everyone's going through it at some point, and myself included, like, being able to share certain aspects about your life. Obviously you don't want to be like, here's my address, come hang out with me, right?
Yeah,
You
right.
get weirdos. But
Yeah.
just being like, man, like, I really missed this today, or happy Easter, and picture Easter with all your friends, or here's, miss my family, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're showing a side of yourself that you're, like you said, a human being, and you're seeing a different side of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people want to see. They want to see who you are, not who are you behind a camera.
Exactly. And I think there's a good way to mix both real human versus entertainer personas.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these streamers don't have issues doing it. Why do we, at least that I've seen in the kick world, kind of have this issue? Is it because we have that green check mark? Is it because we have a high view count or a high sub count, or we're getting a lot of attention? Who knows? Could be a million things to one.
Mhm.
But I know for me personally, when it comes to being a viewer I want to see that connection. When it comes to being a streamer, I want to know you're not just all about the streaming thing. Because I want to know that, like, if I connect with you, if I would like to network with you, I want to know that we're going to build that connection. Like, we're not going to be like, if we play games every day of our lives, kudos, I'm happy for that. If we play games like once a week, or we're like kind of like just good business buddies, and we're just like, hey, I see you streaming, I want to come and hang out for a bit, or hey, I saw you're doing this, you need any help, kind of thing. Like, I want to build those connections. But I feel like people are so caught up in this persona and how they present themselves, and it's kind of getting to a point that it's turning off a lot of people. And like, all these great advantages that we have right now are going to be going away because people are giving a bad representation of either the streaming platform, the tools and abilities we have, or just us as content creators in general. Because like, maybe they weren't like that in the previous platform they were on, and now they're getting this kind of like, what's the best way to say this, like ego kind of thing. And it scares me, because like, the thing I was talking about before I joined Kick was, I like to do a little bit of research. I like to try to do as much research as I can as possible. I don't want to spend like hours upon hours, but I like to do some kind of like investigating stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the things I do good at work, and I might as well just bring it into my personal life, right? So like, when it comes to like Mixer, like, you remember Mixer, the platform, right?
Yeah.
Mixer was always brought up when Kick was first coming out. Is this going to be another Mixer? Because what's happening that we're seeing these big content creators get these big contracts and coming over here. Like, when Mixer signed Ninja and Shroud at the same time, it was a mind-blowing aspect. But at the same time, Mixer wasn't being boarded with streamers and content creators. It was just being boarded by Microsoft people who run the Mixer side of things. Versus Kick, where we have Trainwrecks, who is a content creator, which we have Eddie, who has been doing content creation on the platform to kind of gauge with the audience and all that. Like, our CEO is doing stuff on the platform. He's using the services. Like, when was the last time you saw anybody from Twitch, like high up, use the platform? When did you see Bill Gates or anybody who owns the platform for Mixer do anything? Like, I don't even think Mark Zuckerberg has ever tried Facebook gaming. Like, and I know Susan Wojcicki, when she was CEO of YouTube, she would go and do interviews and go do stuff on YouTube platforms. So I give her credit for that. But like, you at least see Eddie being involved in what's going on. You see Trainwrecks, a content creator who wanted to revolutionize content creating space, being involved in these decision-making things and pushing for new ideas and new groundbreaking stuff. But is that enough to stop bad reputation from destroying the platform?
Oof.
Because
I
here's
don't think they're ever going to lose their reputation, to be honest with you.
yeah.
I don't. But I will say, and I agree with you, I will say that they, at least in my experience and what I've seen, is they are a lot more willing to do things that are going to directly benefit streamers and content creators at a quicker pace than other platforms are. And I think it's like you said, it's because they have people that are directly involved with the platform itself that are also streaming on the platform. So they're running into the same, they're basically the test bugs for seeing things, right? And they're seeing people like, hey, why can't I view this? Or why can't I host this? Or why does this change when I try to change my title? Or why does this bug out or whatever? And they're changing, like, and maybe that's just because I wasn't on Twitch when it first started, but it feels like they're just constantly doing things that people want to see on the app. And it's like you said, it's because they're actually on the app themselves. They're not just some random dude behind a big fancy desk at the penthouse somewhere, just telling the developers to just get this done so it works, and that's it.
No,
Right? They want to see people
exactly.
enjoy it.
I think also a big thing that helped drive Mixer's success, and this is going to be a really interesting conversation, is the fact that it was owned by Microsoft. So you were easily available to on any Xbox. You can go on any Xbox and you could stream from Mixer right away. The only way you could stream from Twitch is if you connected to your Twitch or downloaded the Twitch app or whatever, and then connected to your Xbox and all that. So like, the fact that you could have streamed from Mixer, that anybody with a Xbox console could have streamed from Mixer from that Xbox, entered people into a streaming world to try to get people to view their content and all that. And that's kind of like a side view of how I see this. Like we don't have the kind of we don't kind of see that right now with Kick. Like to get with Kick, you kind of have to get the RSS feed, you have to link it up to your OBS. Like it's not on console yet. We just got an app and the app is still having, you know, being out for like less than a month, it still has issues, obviously. And I don't think it's not going to have issues. Same thing like the website. The website's so new, it's not like it's not going to have issues.
Mm-hmm.
But the relative ability for people to be able to stream on Mixer was a lot easier than it was on Kick.
Mm-hmm.
But now, instead of having your average Joe gamer trying to stream on Mixer to try to like get it going, you're having a bunch of, like you said earlier, you have what we think is like almost 90% of the people on this platform being a streamer and not so much of as like a viewer or supporter kind of being on here. And we're just plagued with like just streamers galore. Now you have content galore. That's awesome. You're having you're building up your repertoire for what you want to do with the platform. That's awesome. But it's also, like I said, a dual-edged sword where it's like there's no easy accessibility for people to either get started in the industry or be like get the support that they really need. Like I love the streamers that come to support me. I love the people who come to support, whether they're a streamer, whether they're a viewer, whether they're just a chatter, whatever it is. But it was a lot easier for people with consoles. Now, and the fact that consoles don't even have that availability yet is kind of like not like crazy to me because it's still such a new site. But like I'm seeing some kind of like similar but different trends between Mixer as well as Kick.
Yeah.
And I think one of my issues is that like Kick has the availability because it's constantly growing and pushing updates, and you know the fact that it's seeing issues like Twitch and it's kind of solving them in a somewhat decent manner is a great sign. But I don't want to get stuck as being known as like the smaller streaming platform. Like I don't want to see this being like another Mixer where it just fails because the people who are in charge don't know anything about content creation, and once they drop millions of dollars on somebody, they don't see it come back to benefit them. Yeah. They're like, what is this? Like I don't want to see another Ninja Shroud issue over here again.
Well, I wonder too how much issue they're having on the back end trying to get, you know, their platform available on console to stream.
I would think they're trying to do as best they can, but I think right now the main focuses that they have are building the platform to be better for not only the viewer on the website but the streamers. Like I sent an email out today because of the whole follow bot thing, and they responded to me in less than an hour, like less than 20 minutes, because I was in somebody else's stream. We were talking about it. And it was nice that they came up and like, hey, we understand this is an issue. We see it on other places. Thank you for your research and what you did. Like, here's the bug that we have right now with this thing, and we're pushing updates. Like, how many times have you ever emailed Twitch about issues like this? You don't hear anything at all, or you have to wait for a tweet like weeks later for them to actually do something.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not. That's the nice part is it's small enough where you can get answers or responses faster, you know, like you know, I know I never got to this point, but people I know did that when they applied for partner on Twitch. They couldn't hear something for like a month, just because there's so many of them going in there that they get lost in translation. There's nothing, they can't get to it fast enough, and I think that is the nice part. I think with it being small, the other thing that I always think is crazy to me is like this ego of like, oh, like you stream on Kick. And sometimes I'm like, okay, whatever. Then sometimes I'm like, I almost want to be like, well, yeah, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing the entire time. I'm not sitting in a wormhole buried at the bottom and not getting anywhere. Just because, you know, it's so there's definitely like a up and down where it's like I kind of like sometimes being in the smaller platform because of the how nice it is, but also like it does suck sometimes because people look down on it as if it's like not a platform wherever that's going to be existent. That's always shocked me. It's like, you know, when everyone was first starting to come over, it was like, it's not going to last more than a month. Well, you know, that goes back to your guru thing. Well, how do you know it's not going to last more than a month? Well, it's backed by gambling. Well, gambling is one of the biggest revenue makers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything that's going to keep money coming in, it's fucking gambling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because people there's a lot of degenerate people out there that just throw money away for no reason at all. And so I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's just there's so many different sides of it where it's interesting to definitely hear.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you. I think there's definitely times where it's like, how do we not have how do we not have a platform for like Xbox or for PS4 or 5 now, I guess. Like God, I'm old. Or stuff like that, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it, and it might be crazy to say, I think a lot of it is there are, just like in any big industry, there's people probably blocking Eddie and Train and the team from getting stuff done because they don't want to see it done.
Mm-hmm.
And I would honestly bet that there's a lot of some of these big things like getting it on a console or getting Streamlabs and OBS to integrate directly with chat and features like that, that they might just be getting straight up just egoed by these
Mm-hmm.
companies, and because they don't, you know, their biggest supporter might be a little bit threatened that they're, you know, gonna have another competitor again. I don't know, but that's just how it feels to me.
No, it's very likely like that, and it's something that's also like one of the hardball questions I was about to bring up, and I'm glad you kind of brought it up. Is the gambling aspect. Like, question number one on that: do you have any like moral like strains or like kind of like iffy pulls kind of thing being on a website that does gambling? Because I know some people refuse to come even on this site because they have had family members with personal issues with gambling addiction and all that. I know even streamers who do support the content will be like, listen, if you have a gambling addiction, do not gamble. Like, they will say it straight up. And I think people get in these mental blocks when they say it's owned by a gambling site. They're like, so you support gambling? It's like, you can not support gambling and be on this website. Like, I don't think a lot of you people understand that, like, you're on Twitch and you don't support half the things Jeff Bezos does, yet you still give him the money.
Yeah, I'd be shocked to know how many people actually. There's probably tons of people don't know that Twitch is owned by Amazon.
Oh yeah, Twitch,
I'm sure there's
Twitch,
some a
yeah,
lot,
yeah. And
but
what's
I mean, I don't have any personal problem with gambling. I mean, it's just, and maybe it's just because I don't have any close relationship with someone who's had a really hard time with gambling and stuff like that. But I'm just of the aspect, like, if that's what it's backed by and that's what it's backed by, like,
Mhm,
it doesn't affect. And this is how I am with pretty much everything in my life. If it doesn't affect me personally in my day to day life or how I live my life, then it, like,
mhm.
there's why am I going to be mad about something with everything in life? Like, there's no reason for me. Like, if people want to gamble, then go gamble. If you don't want to gamble, then don't gamble. Like, you don't come on the platform to gamble.
Right.
You know, just because the platform is backed by a gambling website doesn't mean that me and you are ending this conversation and we're gonna go spend 3 grand on gambling and lose it all and then that we're done. Like,
Right.
so that's stuff. But I think a lot too is I don't know if I can really like speak to it that much, other people's views, because I don't know anyone that's had an issue with it. I don't have an issue with it.
Hmm.
And so it's, you know, I personally don't have a problem, but I'm sure there are people that have a problem with it because of certain life aspects. I don't know that it should really sway somebody from coming to the app,
Hmm.
really, in just my opinion. But again, if someone personally has an issue with it, then maybe that is a big reason why they don't come over here.
No, and like I said, like if someone knows that they have an issue with it and they're afraid that that issue might rise up being here, I'm not gonna push someone to be on this app. Like, I'm not gonna tell someone, hey, this is the greatest app in the world, regardless of your issues. Come here. Like, I like the app. Do I support the people that I like on this app? Yes, absolutely. But it's such a wild aspect that, like, when we talk about Kick or when we mention Kick to anybody that's not on the platform yet, or anybody who is like controversial about the platform, the first three things I hear out of anybody is that, oh, so you support gambling or you don't care about people with addiction problems. Like, what? I didn't even say any of that. Number two, it's like, oh, so you just watch porn all day on the website because of, Aiden Ross. I'm like, no, that's not it either. Like, he did a dumb thing and I don't support his dumb thing, but that's I don't do this. The same thing happens on Twitch. Like that one lady who was having sex live on stream and only got a 7-day ban. Yeah, it's not. I don't go to Twitch for like make it to a Pornhub website.
Yeah.
People just try to find any reason they can to just not like the site
Yeah.
because of what, for whatever reason, whether they don't like gambling, they don't like the change, they don't like XYZ, maybe the content creators on there, like that's fine. But don't just put me into a bag like everybody else because of how this company operates and what they do.
Yeah.
Eddie has shown time and time again on his Twitter feeds and on his, on his streams and on his whatever, that he cares about people and the content creators and their platforms and what's growing here. He believes in it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Twitch. Like if you want to dog me on fucking like being on Kick, let me dog you for being on Twitch. And you're like, well, everybody's on Twitch. Like everybody's on Twitch because it was one of the first ever platforms, and that's what they mainly specialize in. Mm-hmm. If you really don't want to have like controversy, why don't you go to Trovova? Why don't you go to YouTube? Why don't you go to Facebook? They all have issues that people don't support. Like why dog one because you personally feel this kind of way?
Yeah.
But now that also brings into the aspect like you said earlier, like it sucks that these kind of stigmas are being placed on us anytime we bring stuff up. Like, I don't know about you. Outside of Twitter, not many people that I've talked to personally know that I stream on Kick. Like, it was a little bit easier to say I streamed on Twitch because, like we said, everybody did it, so it didn't matter. But to mention Kick now with how much bad controversy they've been mixed in with the good in the news, it kind of almost wearies me from mentioning it to people in real life. Like some people don't know the bad issues with Kick, and it makes it a little bit easier to talk about. Some people do know it, and to even mention it, I don't want to even be thought of as like, oh, so you just watch porn all day. Oh, so you just do this. Oh, you're only here for the money. Oh, this and that. Like it's a real thing. Like, and that happens with a lot of people too. Like I think a lot of people, like when they first start content creation, streaming, whatever, and they start seeing that they can like get revenue, make money, they're like, oh, so you're only doing this for the money. Like I'm not gonna lie, like if I could play video games and make money all day, I'll tell you straight up, I'll make money playing video games all day. That'd be the greatest job ever. But they think you're only doing this for the money. And some people want to do it because they want to entertain. Some people want to do it because they love meeting people, building those connections, and doing stuff like that. Like some people may have like bad intentions, or their intentions, which is just making money. Yeah. But I hate that like these stigmas are placed on Kick streamers because of the bad apples and the publicity it's gotten. And that's such a hard thing, is that like we've had maybe a couple of bad instances on Kick already. Mm-hmm. And like since those instances, I personally really haven't seen any much more bad things being talked about or being brought to light. Yeah. Now to say that they're not happening is a different story.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to click on what you have to click on. Mm-hmm. If you decide to click on the old pools and hot tub stream, that's on you. It's not on anybody else. That's what's on the app. If that's what the person that's creating the content wants to do, and that's what they want to do. Like that's the thing. It's crazy to me. It's like you're putting all these words on people, like, oh, you're on an app that has porn. Well, I mean, if you ever watch some of the ASMR even on Twitch, I mean, there's a lot of the same stuff going on all over the place. But the difference is that they see, before a lot of people came over, that was one of the biggest categories that was here, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what's tough. But it's like no one's making somebody, it's just
click on a hot tub stream.
Like that's on you to click on it. Like it's not like I'm sitting here, and I gotta blow up hot tub that I'm about to blow up and get on my hot tub stream. Like that's not what everyone does. But it's definitely an interesting thing, and that's what. But I think people just find anything they can. If it's not one thing, it's another thing. If it's not the gambling thing, it's the hot tub thing and the porn thing, and if it's not that, it's just the money thing. Well, what else are you gonna reach for here? Like it's keep reaching.
Exactly. All right, I got a few more questions. We'll kind of wrap it up hopefully in the next 15 or so minutes. But one of the things you brought up with the hot tub stream, before I get into my question, I thought it was really funny because when the hot tub stream was happening, I kind of was like, this can't be a real fucking thing, right? Like why? There's no reason. And when they made the category, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, it's making them money, and to divert people from misconstruing a stream.
Yeah.
or seeing that kind of stuff. They put it in one category. Okay, I get it from a business aspect. That's probably a smart move on Twitch. And I remember I did a subathon on Twitch, and I actually did a hot tub stream, but I did it from inside my bathroom in the bathtub. I put on a coconut bra, I put on pineapple shorts, we dropped bath bombs and the rubber duckies. It was
My
a
favorite thing is that they have it now, and if you look, Action Man is one of my favorite streamers to watch. He is hilarious,
Mhm.
and he has taken over the hot tub stream of just literally this pale ass white dude just sitting in a hot tub, just doing nothing at all, and he is like the top hot tub. Like I think it is like some of the troll things that he does. He is definitely a wild character, but man, it is funny that like he's like, "Oh, hot tubs? Let me just get my hot tub real quick." Like it's just outrageous to me that a man like that does it. But I agree with you. It's like it's interesting.
it and like I said, with that kind of like with kind of like how people present and content and all that.
Yeah.
Just because I may not like the content doesn't mean I'm not going to dog somebody for doing whatever content that helps make them money and make their living. Like I'm not going to be mad that somebody has an OnlyFans. I'm not going to be mad that somebody does X, Y, and Z. I'm not really. As long as you're a genuine good person to the people around you, to your viewers, and to like other people that that are also genuine, I have no issue with what you do on any platform as long as it's by the terms of service, right?
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
so another question that I kind of wanted to like touch upon is true networking. And this is like an interesting question because like how we talk about with the Kick and the Twitch gurus and all that, networking is such a like almost like a bastardized word at this point. Like I'll see people like, we need to network with more streamers. Put your link down below, and these people never get contacted.
Mm.
Or people think networking is you follow me, I follow you. You come to my stream, I come to your stream. No, that's not networking.
No.
Like networking, in my point of view, is it's like a handshake. It's like the handshake when you first meet a potential business partner.
Mhm.
You know, you want to present a firm handshake. You want to get to know that person, try to get on their level, try to get a gauge and feel of somebody. You're not gonna always make content with everybody that you try to network. Like I think like when you start getting to know people, you go to their streams and all that. You might get a bad vibe. You might get a bad feeling. You're like, hey, I have nothing against what you're doing. It's just not what I feel comfortable with or what I want to vibe with. No hard feelings. Like it's like a handshake. Like you're like, hey, this may not be the best thing for me or for you.
Mhm.
And some things, like you said, like meeting Elrod and networking with him was like a big change for me because like I met someone who was like one of the sweetest people out there. Meeting and connecting with you, I met one of the most real and genuine people out there. And I feel like networking, along with how the social media presents itself through these guru kind of people, is kind of getting bastardized. Like I'm not saying they're doing it to farm follows. I'm going to say the farm Twitter interactions, all that, because maybe they do have that genuine interaction with them, or they want to have that genuine interaction with them. But I feel like a lot of people don't kind of get what really is networking. So to you, how would you describe genuine networking?
I would probably describe it exactly what we do. Generally, getting to know somebody as a person and the content after.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather get to know someone inside and out. Well, not inside and out. That sounds weird. Just get to know someone as a human being, what they like, and on a human level, and then worry about do we vibe face to not face to face, but do we vibe in that way, and then can we figure something out that we can do together on the streaming aspect, gaming aspect of things, in that kind of way. There's plenty of people that I will go and try to talk with and network and talk and try to get to know. And I'm just like, I get it halfway through a conversation. I'm like, I just don't think this is right. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
this is it. And I think you just have to. It just sounds like I'm like repeating myself, but you just have to get to know somebody before. That's the only thing that I think is important. If you're
Mm-hmm.
getting to know somebody on a genuine level, on a real level, as a person and a human, outside of just sitting in a stream or just on Twitter or you're interacting in all sorts of different ways, that's so much more important than just playing a game with them, or just, putting a tweet out, say, I want to network with people, and then you have a half-assed, hey, what's up? Not much. What are you up to? Hey, you want to like collab sometime? And then you play a game one time, and then you never talk, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what it seems like a lot of people do, and I think while yes, you probably want to try to network and collab with people that have similar interest in games to you, that's definitely an aspect of it. But if you don't enjoy that person as a person, like if we had our streams off right now, we
Mm-hmm.
could probably have the same exact conversation off stream.
Yeah.
And that's the important side that I'm trying to make, is like we could have these conversations off stream and it'd be totally the same thing as if it was on stream. Versus like if I was just gonna find some random person that plays COD and we were like completely different people and we don't talk at all, like what are we gonna talk about off stream?
Mm-hmm.
Right, the best networking stuff and the best collaborating stuff, like when we play with different people and games and stuff like that, is when half the conversations are just weird, funny, and just like offhand all the time.
Absolutely.
When you have no idea what someone's gonna say, like that's like a genuine person that is
Mm-hmm.
like you like are actually having a conversation with, and not
Mm-hmm.
just like sweating out a COD lobby because
Yeah.
you guys are quote unquote networking, collabing with each other. Right? Like
Exactly.
if it's just weird and awkward, then the people can see it's weird and awkward,
Yeah.
and it goes nowhere. Um, so you need to find somebody that you, or not find somebody that's like we're dating here, but you need to look for people that you want to network with, that you generally want to get to know as a person. And if you
Yeah.
generally want to get to know someone as a person, most times they'll see that and they'll reciprocate and they'll actually have interest in what you're doing. And if they don't, then you know that that's not the right person to try to network with.
Absolutely.
Also, like me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I would rather network with someone that's super super small than someone who's
Mm-hmm.
super super big.
Okay. Why is that?
Um, I feel as though the people that are super super small are more likely to give you an honest, kind of genuine feedback and conversation and just personality than someone who is super super big. And that's why at the same point, like if I'm finding someone who's super super small, me having that connection with them, right? We become like almost like like friends in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're like the amount of friends. That's the other thing. The amount of friends that you can make gaming is wild.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think once you go ahead,
I was gonna say some of my best friends, and I will say this every day. Like PT is probably my bestest friend that I've ever met. I
yep,
met PT 2020, like right when COVID first started, and the way we connected was that I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and she was streaming it earlier on her channel. She came over and just was talking about it. I went to her channel, we're talking about it, and we've been almost best friends ever
yep.
since then.
Oh,
Even
I
though
could tell
she,
you a wild one. I
mm-hmm,
I played COD with a guy in 2008 was the first year we played together.
mm-hmm.
He's had 4 kids since,
Oh my gosh,
and I went to his wedding.
what?
Right, somebody that
Yeah.
I met over a video game. I've been there. I'll never forget the day when he came and was like, "Dude, I'm gonna have my first kid,"
Mm-hmm.
and we were all like, "Oh shit!" And now he's got 4 kids, has his like own house, like got married, went to his wedding. Like if you would have told me that I was gonna go to someone's wedding that I met playing Call of Duty in 2008, I would be like,
Mm-hmm.
"You are on some shit." But
Dude,
it's crazy the amount of like connections you can make
mm-hmm.
just over time talking with somebody about different stuff. Like we have a 2000 some odd day snap streak still.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talk every single
Wait,
day.
2000 day?
Yes.
What?
Let me tell you, I can tell you
What?
the exact number right now. We
Dude,
snap
please.
every single day. We are at 2,351 days.
Bro,
Only one that I have like a consistent snap
that
streak with is him. And I
that's
met him
like
playing Call of Duty.
that's almost like 5 years.
Yep.
That's wild. But
Yep.
like that,
I
but
was
that's what
just
the,
like,
but that's like the same thing with me in Playtown. Like
yeah.
I went to go visit her like I think like a year after we started streaming. She used to live in this house with her roommates and her husband and all that. And then they all saved up money and bought a house together. And I was there for her birthday when they first got the house. I was there for like the Halloween party there on after. Like I've met so many great people through streaming, and I'm gonna and like this upcoming September, I'm meeting some more. We're doing a little small get together in Florida, and it's just wild that some of the people that I have made such great connections with, I've barely ever met physically in my life, and it's through gaming or through this kind of stuff.
And it's the genuine connection you have. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you actually getting to know each other on a personal level, and not just you know like I said, sweating out a lobby on Call of Duty together. Like you probably have conversations you like years ago. You're probably like, I'm never going to talk to some random person on the internet about this, but there you are, and now you do, and you're like, wow. And then you can like then that friendship keeps going, and that's I think was what people miss back to the networking is like they don't have those type of conversations. And yes, obviously, like I'm not saying like yeah, go meet somebody on Twitter and then just like tell them your life story in 2 seconds and now you're best friends. It's not like Step Brothers where they become best friends in 2 seconds playing karate in the garage,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
it's like it takes time. Like it's like it's honestly it sounds dumb, but it's like dating. Like you have to put effort in to get to know somebody, and
Mm-hmm.
if they don't put effort in on their end, then you know it's not the person for you to try to network with. If they put an effort in and you're putting effort in and it's going well, right? Then you got a new
Mm-hmm.
relationship and you got a boyfriend, right? And then
Yeah.
you keep going, right?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
it's the same idea as dating is you just keep going. Like if they want to have they get to know you on a real level,
Mm-hmm.
time over time, then that's a person you want to continue to network with. If you're
Absolutely.
if you're just going with someone and you're like, hey, you want to play COD, and you're like, yeah, let's play COD on Tuesday at 9, then you play COD, then you never talk to each other again. I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's not networking. That's just playing COD with somebody new.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before I ask like this one final question for
Yep.
you, anybody in chat, if you have any questions you would like to ask after this question, you're more than welcome to ask either Vid or I. I have no problem with answering questions after this. But that we have come to be known, I would say at least me recently, and I think I've joked about it on your Twitter feed as well. We've been coming to known as being like the assholes on Twitter about calling out shit. I have no problem with being an asshole because I think it's this, like everybody has a different opinion, but I think if you're feeling some kind of way, it's usually generally felt by other people as well, whether it's one way or another.
Mhm.
Is there for you right now, what is like the hottest take, or what is one of the things that it's like grinding your gears for you right now?
Oh, dude, that tweet I put out the other day
You
about
want to let them know what it's about?
oh about the spamming in chat thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into someone's stream every 20 minutes and you post, hey, or just post like one random emote
Mm-hmm.
and then you leave and then you post, hey, my stream crashed at this many viewers and blah blah blah. And I got for the amount of support I got on it, I got so much shit for it because I don't think a lot of people read contextually what I was trying to say. I think people were confused as if like people were just like put a emo in my chat and they're like, and I was like, oh, ban them. Like, no. What I'm saying is when you go into someone's chat and you put an emote in and you leave immediately and you close that chat out, there is zero connection made. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, at least for me, why I tweeted, a lot of times it's people that I barely even talk to
Right.
that I will see. The only time I'll see them was when my viewer count is high, and when my viewer count is low, I never see them once. And
Oh
to
yeah.
me, that's the ones that get me going. You could
Mm-hmm.
post an emote in my chat all the time, and I don't care. But most of the people that do, I see them on a daily basis,
Mm-hmm.
right? I know that they're doing other things,
Right.
right? But when it's someone I literally never once see, and they come in and they're like, "Hey, here's a random emote I'm gonna slap on the ground," and then
Mm-hmm.
they leave, I'm like, nah, not gonna work. Or if I'm like, I've never talked to you and you
Mm-hmm.
come in like, oh man, my stream just crashed at 99 viewers, but I got you up. Well, no, you don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like what's the point of saying about like
Yeah.
crashing stream? Like you could just easily said I got you up. Like
And then what even gets me even more is they come back every like 2 hours and they say the same thing. And I'm like, man, you must have some McDonald's ass
My
Wi-Fi
McDonald's ass Wi-Fi.
because your stream keeps crashing or whatever. Like, I mean, people's stuff crashes. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But when
Mm-hmm.
you need to figure something out, if your stream is crashing 30 times during a
Mm-hmm.
day, maybe you
Yeah.
need to fix your internet first.
Like I don't get why people feel the need to do that too. Like I don't like if someone raids me or hosts me in this sense, and I ask them how their stream is and they want to talk about it, even good or bad. I ask for that and I want to know. But if you come into my chat and be like, "I got you up. I'm streaming right now. This and that," like I don't like. I really don't care.
I don't care. And it's
Like-
and the only reason I sent the tweet out is because I've
Mhm.
literally done this.
Mhm.
I have multiple monitors, right? So
Mhm.
one monitor has everything stream can see, other ones doesn't. Sometimes I will click on that person's name. I
Mhm.
will go to their stream and I will see them AFK in whatever game they're playing, and all I hear is typing away and clicking, and I'm like, I know damn well what you're doing. You're not. You are just going stream to stream to stream to stream to stream, posting the same damn thing, and then all
Mhm.
you see is appreciate that, man. I got you up too, and then that's all their chat. Got you up too, man. Got you up too. Got you up too, and I'm like,
Mhm.
it's I see you, right?
Mhm.
But then there's a side of me where I'm like Switzerland, where I'm not gonna outwardly call that person out
Right.
in chat, right? It's not worth my time. If someone
Mhm.
wants to leave and go, that's great, and that's where I'm like I felt like I was banging my head against the wall the other day when I was reading some of these comments, where
Dude,
it's like, you think people you're stealing your viewers? I'm like, no, I don't. It's the
it,
annoyance that they do it time and time and time
again.
again. That is annoying. It's
Yeah.
just, and to me, it's courtesy. It's common
Yeah,
courtesy.
it's like hosting a party. Like your stream is your party, right? You're hosting a party, and then coming in like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry I couldn't make it on time to your party. I just threw a banger party in Beverly Hills, but the cops had to come, man. You know what it is." And you're like, "Dude, I really don't fucking care."
Yeah,
Like,
I don't.
I sorry your party got crashed. Don't tell me tell me that there's this kind of common like etiquette, and I think we've kind of touched upon it earlier when it comes to like streamers. Like there's things that people do and people that irk other streamers and some that don't. Like I think a genuine thing about streamers is that when you realize that we're doing the exact same job as you, don't be surprised if I'm not talking in your chat like a viewer right now. Like if I'm live, I'm not gonna spend my time on live watching your stream talking in your chat. Unfortunately,
And
like
half what I said was like, unless if someone comes in my stream and they stream or they host or whatever, and I know they stream, I'm gonna ask them how their stream was or how it is or whatever it is. Like, I don't like and that's what I was getting so annoyed with is that people were like, well, you're just not going to talk to anybody about content, and that's what they do, and this, that. And I'm like, no, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is it's people that are doing it for the wrong reasons. I don't care if people talk about their stream. If I'm asking you to talk about your stream, I'm asking you how your stream was. I don't care. It's just the unsolicited thing that is what irks me, and like half of what irked me is that half the people were just responding because they saw the tweet was going popping off, that they're like, oh, let me respond and start some more shit. So then my tweet goes, and I was like, I'm not even gonna bother responding. Like, this is just so not worth my time anymore, that it's like, even today, like a tweet from 2 days ago, people today were responding. I'm like, I just don't even care.
I saw some of the ones that people were like quoting and like, this guy has it all wrong. I'm like, you're not getting his point of view. And that's also the shitty thing about Twitter is that like if you don't have Twitter Blue and you're not going to post that long message, you only have so much space to say what you really want to say. Because like for me, like if you like when you talk to me about any kind of thing, I like to go in details. I like to explain myself. I like to just talk, not because I like to talk, because I need to explain myself, because there's so many minute things I have to kind of clarify so you're not getting the wrong idea of what I'm trying to present. And that's such a hard thing on the internet, and it's such a hard thing to present also on the internet without saying it. Like you could go and do like a voice memo and post it live, and then people can get like your funny anecdotes or your funny tone of voice, your angry tone of voice or whatever. But most people type, and you can't get that from Twitter. And so people read what you say, they view it off of how they perceive it. And even though you could have meant it as like, hey, people, don't be a fucking dick in somebody else's chat when they're streaming, they're like, well, this person's just saying. I was like, no, they're not. Like you're like, damn it, now I gotta explain my goddamn self. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
And the other thing too, it's like I know damn well if anybody is that's streaming that replied negatively to the tweet, I know damn well if you're streaming the whole time and you have people coming in every 30, 40, 50 minutes and saying the same thing, copy and pasting, and you just go to say something the first time and they never respond and they come back in 2 hours and say it, I know damn well you're getting annoyed with it.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah.
people are like, get off your high horse. So I'm like, well, get off your high horse to say that you're gonna sit there and just be okay with someone just coming into your chat, copying and pasting a message and leaving
Mm-hmm.
15, 10, 15 times in a stream.
Yeah. Like
Right? There's a difference.
there's a difference between someone who regularly comes to your community and may drop
Mm-hmm.
like emotes because they're either streaming and in a downtime they're showing that support, or they're, like I said, they're
Yeah.
taking care of their family, they're cooking dinner, they're doing whatever. Like there's a
Exactly.
difference between someone who consistently comes back versus somebody
a
new. Exactly. So question time of question for Vit. This is from Dark Bullet.
Oh boy.
What is the advice for those who are streaming again? What they should be aware of?
So coming back to streaming?
Yeah. So the exact wording is, what is the advice for those who are streaming again, and what they should be aware of? So, like, if someone's coming back to streaming, like, what is like any advice you have to give them, and what should they be aware of when it comes to streaming?
I would say number one, look at what you did the first time.
Mm-hmm.
What worked for you, what didn't work for you, and have an honest evaluation of yourself and change whatever that is. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you were and I don't mean like game wise. I
Mm-hmm.
mean like how you present yourself. Maybe that's just you're you're not upbeat enough, or maybe you don't talk enough in chat to the chat when reading it. Whatever that is that you noticed about what didn't work for you in the past, try to
Mm-hmm.
actively change that in the future and what you're doing now.
I think those are
I
great words.
I think the biggest thing, and I come from a sports background, so we watch film all the time of our
Mm-hmm.
games.
Mm-hmm.
When I decided to come back and stream, I took time, and I mean, I didn't sit there for hours and hours on end, but I every little bit, I'd watch like 10, 15 minutes of some of my old VODs on Twitch and stuff of times that were not good streams, where I wouldn't consider like fun streams for me to do, and see
Mm-hmm.
what was working, what was not working. Was I not being active enough? Was I not being talkative enough? Was I kind of just in my feels the whole time and not talking to chat and ignoring chat? And then also times where it was good. Was I talking to chat? Was I upbeat? Was I having fun? I think that's the biggest part, and that's like I read somewhere. I can't remember who tweeted it. Someone tweeted it, said, "Cover your viewer count up when you're streaming."
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was that like, and I do it to this day. Like I only have so much space on my one monitor. I
Mm-hmm.
cover it up with my like Discord or whatever I'm in for the most part, or my music, just
Mm-hmm.
because it's so much easier to stream when you don't see those things. You're not always judging yourself based on a number or a time or a sub count or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Once you get over those things, and you actually enjoy yourself and you improve what didn't work for you the first time, you start to see a lot of success, because people want to be around people that are improving themselves and
Mm-hmm.
fun, and I'm not saying just be fun and be goofy the whole time, right? If that's not you, like it's hard to force yourself to be someone you're not. So the second
Exactly.
part of that is be genuine, be
Mm-hmm.
who you are as a person. If I've already cried on the stream before. If you feel something in the moment, you just gotta go with it. Whatever you feel, go with it. If you're
Mm-hmm.
happy as hell, right? Like I love watching Bubba's streams, Bubba's
Mm-hmm.
TV. When he gets hosted, or if he gets a gifted sub and his
Mm-hmm.
big old butt gets on his streaming chair and he twerks around that stream,
Yeah.
I think it is the funniest shit in the world. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that's him, like he's genuinely excited about it. Like he's showing everybody how excited he is. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If someone drops something on me and I start crying, like people want to see that. So be a genuine
Mm-hmm.
person. That would be my other piece of advice.
I love that. And to kind of like even tag along on that, like how you talk about like just reviewing how you used to do it and seeing what you can do to improve what you're doing now. I think that's a key factor. I think a lot of people think that, you know, they have to be perfect every time they stream. Like, if you look at any of these fucking sports athletes, they are not perfect every fucking game they go into. And they review what they do. And sometimes their off days, it's just based on mood. Sometimes, you know, they, like, I know there are times where Michael Jordan had an off basketball game because he got into an argument with his wife. I know I've seen Derek Jeter had off days just because New York was giving him shit. He may be the poster child of New York, but he was giving shit from New York from time to time if he didn't make a good play. Not everybody's going to be perfect, and not every stream is going to be perfect. You're going to have emotions. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have XYZ. I think a key thing to understand is that it's okay to have emotions. First of all, it's okay to have rough days. But when it comes to just viewing yourself as a streamer, don't view yourself like anybody else. Like, I'm not gonna view myself as you, Vit. I'm not gonna try to compare myself to, you know, Bubba or anybody else that we know in our community, because in the end all be all is, I'm not that person. I'm a different person. And people want to come through genuinity, and the best way to show genuinity is to be the real you. And something you're gonna find that like down the road, it may not be right away, but as long as if you're really serious about giving it a try, and you're being genuine with who you are and what you do, you're gonna find the success, and you're gonna find the love and support that you need. Just, like I said, just the main thing is just be genuine. Don't beat yourself up, and take it one step at a time. Like, you're not gonna find overnight success, and if you do, holy shit, I wish I knew how to do that too.
Yeah.
But I've known streamers who've been doing this for 10 plus years who are still like trying to find themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's just a crazy mindset.
The other thing, one more quick point.
Yeah.
Don't. I just thought about this one. Don't force yourself to stream if you're not feeling it.
Absolutely.
That's a huge one. If you're just like, and don't feel bad about not wanting to stream, right? If you're not feeling it and you're not in the mood to stream, then don't stream, because whatever your emotion is going out of not wanting to do it is going to show up to your viewers, right? So if you're clearly not feeling it, don't do it, because
exactly.
it's gonna negatively affect, and people are gonna be like, well, what's, you know, your whole chat's gonna be like, what's wrong with him? Or they're not gonna say anything because they don't want to, you know, they don't want to upset you and be like, oh, well, is he having a bad day? You know, that kind of thing. So
exactly,
make sure you're in the right mindset to stream as well.
I think it's funny that you mentioned that, because like I feel like a lot of streamers get to this aspect of they have to stream, and that if they stream on a bad day, maybe they'll get this lucky charm roll of the dice, and you know, they'll get the outpouring of whatever they need to kind of boost their mood. And that is such, in my opinion, a toxic mindset on themselves, because not every time I'm in a bad mood, if I go and stream, I'm gonna have a great stream. Like, because I've been there where I've been in a bad mood. I'm like, I just have to stream. I have to stay consistent with the schedule, this and that. And the viewer count was like nothing. Nobody came, whatever. And I got even worse. And like, it's playing with a match, and you're either gonna light off a firework for good luck, or you're gonna light off a gasoline and burn your entire house and not want to do this anymore. And it is a dangerous line to play with.
Yeah. So and Skippy just said something too, and she said, but with that, let chat know, not just cut the stream without talking to chat. And I agree, but I think that goes back to being genuine. Like, if you're not feeling it, just say, hey, you know, tweet it out and say, hey, I'm just not feeling it today. Like, this is going on, or this is going on, and you know, I'm tired. I'm going to be at work. I'm just not feeling it. They want to hear those things and see those things from you, because they know, like, hey, yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I didn't really feel like getting up to go to work today. Right?
Absolutely.
I didn't feel like doing this today, or whatever. And so I think it just goes back to being a genuine person.
And like how we said, like, just if you're not feeling good, don't stream. Like, don't be afraid to tell people that you're not going to stream that either. Like, the people that truly genuinely support you are gonna 110% understand. If someone ever comes to you like, well, I was expecting you to stream today, that's something that you probably don't want around you. Like, 100%. Like, I love people who want to see me stream, but if I'm having a rough day and I tell people, hey, like, sorry, canceling stream, just kind of like dealing with depression or dealing with my anxiety or whatever, most people are going to outpour with support and concern, like, hey, is there anything I can do for you, or anything I could do? Like, just take the night off, go take a hot bubble bath, drink some hot cocoa, do whatever the fuck you got to do to get better, you know, crack a cold one with the boys, watch a football game or whatever. But like, most people are going to support you and taking a day off, because like, just like anything else, like if I said, hey, like, I'm not coming into work because I'm not doing so well, like, the business is going to be whatever, but most people are like, yeah, if you're not feeling well, don't fucking come in. Like, exactly. Um, Another question: what about people who gift large amounts in their own channel? What do you feel about this?
I think it depends on the person. I think it goes back to are people, is it people generally trying back to each other, or is
I think
it people
I think
trying to look like they're doing it? I don't know. That's a hard one.
yeah, like without knowing the context of like the whole situation. So I don't want to blast them for not for asking the question, but like if
Yeah,
you want to like give more context about the question you want to ask in chat, I have no problem giving more detail about it. But like in the general sense, like it's such a hard concept to view gifting to your own channel.
yeah,
Like hear me out. I do it sporadically when I'm on stream. If I've seen someone come into my chat and they're spending a good amount of time in there and they're like showing the love support, they're just talking, we're hanging out, I want to like it may not mean anything to them, but like even just gifting a sub to them just means to me like, hey, I notice what you're doing. You're having a
yeah.
good time. I want you to keep having a good time. This is not me to entice you to stay, but now I want you to feel like you're welcome to come back. Like you don't have to come back. I'm literally gifting myself money. It's nothing. I'm just letting you know I notice what you're doing for me in chat. I love what you're doing for me in chat. And if I have the money, I want to give that to you. Like, you don't have to beg for a sub for me to gift you a sub. But, like, I think doing like these, in my opinion, doing these mass drops of gifted subs on your own channel is kind of like pointless.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like an ego inflation. And whatever your reasoning for it is, like, you could have like a good intended heart for it. But, like, ingenuously from the people the reasons I've seen have not been good enough for me to be like, I'm not dropping 50 gifted on myself. I'm
Yeah.
not dropping 20 gifted on myself. If someone I see in my chat comes on a regular basis and I want to show them love and support because they've shown me, I will give them a sub out of my own pocket. I don't need anybody giving them a sub.
Yeah.
But saying
I think too. One interesting, and I saw this on a pretty big streamer on Twitch where he would gift once they got to a certain level of gifts for the day,
mhm,
he would start matching those gifts
that's
to,
not a bad that's
to
like
his
a
own
that like I
stream.
said, yeah. That's not a bad idea, but it also that's like kind of I'm torn on that kind of
Yeah.
mindset because here's the thing. When I think of gifting yourself subs, there's only two, and I'm pretty black and white when it comes to this mindset. There's only two reasons you're doing it. You're either doing it because you want to support somebody in your chat and give them whatever emotes or time or whatever, make them want to view ads like on Twitch, or you're boosting your sub count.
Yeah.
Like that just might be me. That might be my like negative kind of viewpoint because that's how I see it.
Mhm.
But that's just how it presents itself to me. Like if I see, without knowing the context, without being there, if I see massive gifted subs dropped on yourself, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
people
I guess
already.
I just haven't noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I just guess I haven't noticed people, at least in a lot of streams that I go to, doing it. So I guess I don't really have a full opinion on it because I don't see it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I I mix match see it, but the most where I see it is more of verified streamers on this platform.
gotcha. Okay.
Like it's not really small people; it's
Yeah.
more verified people boosting their sub counts, and I think that's kind of like what is kind of like an ick for me. I would guess I would say
Yeah.
because, like I said, without being in their streams and without seeing why they're doing the gifted subs, it's coming off as them just boosting their sub count, which then they can go brag about on Twitter, and then you're like, okay, that just doesn't sound right.
Now I have
But like,
seen, I've heard of people not gifting to their own channels, but paying people to gift to their channels.
like they give them money just so they can gift them to their
Yes,
own channel.
I've heard of that.
That's wild. That is
I've
wild.
I've heard of I've heard of some bigger streamers giving, one of their bigger gifters X amount of
Mhm.
money from their last payout to continue to give subs in certain times where chat is slow and stuff, so that it makes people want to
Mhm.
gift more.
That's
I don't know how, like, honestly, I don't know how you can even ever verify that,
mhm.
but someone had said it at one point that someone was doing it, and I was like, that's just a whole wild concept to me to do something like that.
I just hate that. I hate trying to manipulate other people so you can go and support you, or manipulating what's actually happening. Like what is the like I mean I hate to say I know the reason why they're trying to grow and they're trying to do X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
but just doing it out of a non-genuine manipulative way, it just why? Like what is the point?
Yeah.
Like people are like when those views don't come and those support don't come and you're still gifting yourself or having somebody else gift for you, what are you going to keep doing? Like you're not growing, you're not being genuine, you're not doing anything good for your channel or good for the platform because people see
Yeah.
see right through it.
I think it's the mindset that though they see like people see people are competitive by nature for the most part. They see, you know, when support keeps going, a lot of times people want to join in on that support, and so that's they start gifting. And so I think that's a huge reason that people do it is because they see like they'll be in a chat and someone will give 5, and then someone will give another 5, and then another 5, and then they're like, oh shit, like
Mhm.
let me throw my hat in there so I can be like, you know,
Yeah, continue the thing. And
yeah,
I think and like kind of like how Twitch was with the hype train, I think that's like another thing that people like I'm afraid that if Kick does something like a hype train, it's going to cause that same kind of mentality over here. Like we see it without a hype train and we see it with its negative connotations and it's like just imagine if they try to do their version of a hype train over here and like I have no problem that if other people are wanting to give to the streamer and support them, I get that. But it sucks if you truly know and have evidential fact, like evidence and proof of it, that this person is either doing it to themselves, either on their main account, on a secondary account that nobody knows about, or paying somebody else, like a buddy of theirs, to manipulate the system. Like it's wild to me.
yeah. I
Like,
want people to gift subs because they generally want to
mm-hmm,
support the channel and me, and
mm-hmm,
they generally like the
absolutely.
content. I don't want any other reason for you to like if I don't ever want to be in a part where if someone's gifting subs and people start gifting because they feel like they need to be in there. Like
Mm-hmm,
that to me is like I it just it kind of irks me a little bit. Like, and I think that's just because of like I said earlier, like I was that person at one point. Like I wanted to be on that list, right? I think it's that type of thing. Um, I want people to like gift me subs or sub to me because they genuinely like me as a person and like my content and
mm-hmm,
like being around me, not for
mm-hmm.
any other reason at all,
And I
right?
think that's such a hard line to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And like how you were talking, like you want to be genuine, you want to be authentic. Like there's no like why would like it sucks that like not only are the streamers themselves abusing what's going on, but the chatters coming in are probably also abusing on it too. Think about being in somebody who has like a high fucking sub count right now, and that first place spot is your name, and people are coming to your channel because of that, trying to get your attention and your views and all that. Not only is the streamer, getting affected by that, but you're also getting affected by that. And it's not genuine growth, it's not genuine connection, and people just see you as money bags. And like how we talked about earlier, like me and you, like we don't mind gifting subs to people. Like we kind of don't care if we get recognized on Twitter or anything like that. We want to but like we'll let people know like, hey, thank you so much for the gift of subs. You like I appreciate what you're doing, but we don't care about the recognition about gifting subs. We just care that we're supporting people in their dreams and in their content.
Mm-hmm.
One more message, and then if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to read them all. Well, for example, two streamers gifting each other almost the same amount of subs. Streamer 1 gifted 40 subs to streamer 2. Streamer 2 gifted 38 subs to streamer 1, either online or offline. Is that normal in your point of view? And constantly tweeting about it. Yeah, that's usually weird. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like it's like even in any platform, if two streamers are just gifting each other back and forth, like my first reaction, which would be most everybody's reaction, is this is like a Ponzi scheme. They're doing this for each other. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like
All it is cloud
it's
farming. All it is cloud farming.
mm-hmm,
They're not making any. They're they're like we're talking about gambling again. They're breaking even. They're
mm-hmm.
not. You know they're
they're
not getting
they're
any bigger.
they're breaking even to hype up a count that really doesn't matter so they can
Yep.
flex on people for what, wasting money.
Yeah.
Like if I know that you're doing this back and forth, like if I'm gifting you 40 subs, you're gifting me 38. The only thing we're doing is wasting money at that point and boosting a number that's just going to go down because it's not genuine.
Exactly.
Like it's just wild to me that people want to boost a number and post about it. Like I would think like if you would like here's the thing. I keep up to reading this. If you're seeing a genuine success, I have no issue of you wanting to show it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mixture of showing off your human aspect on Twitter as well as your stream and what's going on. Because I think like if you're seeing success, you want to share about it. You want to share some of the good achievements in your community. Like if anybody, like if I won a tournament, I'm going to share about winning a tournament. Yeah. If I had like somebody come into my chat, like let's say Trainwrecks came in and just talked, I'm going to probably want to tweet about it. Cause like, hey, like I appreciate you coming by. He's probably not going to read my DM.
Yeah.
But stuff like that, where it's like, where you're constantly gifting back and forth and it's not becoming a gift war of who has either the biggest money bag, who's receiving the biggest money bag, or just flexing a number that's going to go severely down because all you're doing is just gifting either yourself, others, and no one's gifting back because you're not really providing them with any genuine connection. Mind boggles me. Now I say that, and then we have like these massive streamers who get like bank on subs, and I bet you like they're less than 0.1% connection with any of those subs. Yeah. But that's fine. Some of those people are subbing for the content, and I get that. And if you want to drop a 50 bomb in Nick Merck's chat, that's fine. You're supporting his content. I get what you're trying to do. You want to drop a 50 bomb in Tim Tatman's chat, I get it. You're supporting the content. I get what you're trying to do. But don't be surprised that they don't reach out to you when you give subs. Don't be surprised when the streamer that you give sub to doesn't tweet about you, because that's not their style of tweeting. That's not their style of motive for using Twitter. Like, I think gifting should be gifting to the right reasons. Now, obviously, we talked about how people are not going to be doing that, unfortunately. They're going to do it for whatever their malicious ways possible, or they're going to be genuine about it. But like I said, that's just our opinions. And like, if you like seeing that kind of success all over Kick and all over your Twitter feed, that's fine. But just know that if something seems off, generally 9 times out of 10 it is off without any context. Yeah. Like, don't be afraid to make a comment and be like, hey, like this seems kind of off. Like, do you mind if I talk to you about it? Like, if the person does not want to talk to you about it, it's probably either for one, because they already talked about it, or two, they're doing something shady. Oh, yeah. Like there's so many times where like you'll see something and you're just like I'm shaking my head like, really, bro? And somebody's like, this seems off. Like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, I'm glad you connected dot A to dot B in a 2-centimeter radius.
I mean, too, it's like, like you're saying, don't be surprised about the tweets and stuff. It's also, don't be surprised if when you stop giving money that they don't answer you again. That's another thing. Like, then that's a real thing. And people, when you gift a lot of subs to people, when you stop, not all, but a good portion of some bigger people, when you stop, you're just another random chatter in their stream at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't, until the money comes, they don't care to really interact with you that much. Mm-hmm. That's also the sad part about it, is like that realization that some people have is it kind of breaks people sometimes when they realize, like, hey, I thought this person was actually like kind of, my quote unquote friend or someone I enjoyed talking with all the time. And now that I can't, either I don't give him subs and money, or I can't afford to give him subs and money, now he doesn't talk to me. Right? That happens a lot in streaming. That I don't think a lot of people realize is, like, obviously you never know what's going to happen in life. Like, you could be making a ton of money and maybe it doesn't, you don't care about dropping $50 a week or $100 a week on a streamer with gifted subs. But you lose that job, you don't have the money, and you go back into the stream and you haven't gifted in a month and a half, and you don't get the same kind of welcome when you walk in. A lot of times you're going to be kind of butthurt about it. And it's that realization, it sucks when you realize, like, man, this person really only cared because I gave them a bunch of money.
I think a good thing to pull from that is that I think just as much as it, in my opinion, it's a streamer's responsibility to build connection with their audience as best
Hmm.
they can. I think it's a viewer's also job to build connection with the streamer that they want to build with. Like I said, gifting subs to a streamer that you want to support is not the issue.
Hmm.
The issue is gifting subs so that you get recognized by that streamer, and then when you don't build connection, you don't get part of their community, you don't do anything with them except for gift subs. It's hard to feel like you're going to be connected when something like that happens, like a life change or
Yeah.
anything like my financial change happens. Like I said, I've been in so many situations on Twitch and on Kick where people just like can't give subs or whatever. I'm like, I don't care if you give subs. I don't care what happens. Like, you have a life, you're doing your life. Like, that's no issue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect you to give me money, and if you don't have time because you're working a second job late at night at a White Castle, I'm not gonna be mad that you don't come to stream.
Yeah.
Like, I care about you as an individual more than I care about you as anything else. Like, if you need to focus on your life, focus on your life. If there's anything that I can do in my free time and in my availability that I can help you with, or anything like that, I don't mind helping you. Like, if you need a resume building thing, I don't mind helping you. If you just need someone to talk to and I have free time, I don't mind giving that time to you.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you need to give subs to be here. Don't feel like you need to be a constant chatter to be here. Because with that life change, there's so many things that go on a mental side of it.
Yep.
And I don't want anybody to feel pressured other than they just need to take care of themselves. Like, the only thing I should tell pressure to, like if you have a life change, focus on you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going anywhere more than likely. I'd rather you not go anywhere more than likely. So I want you to focus on yourself. And is there anything I could possibly do within my capabilities and with the comfortability level I have, I'm willing to give to you.
Yeah, 100%. You have to, at the end of the day, focus on yourself as a person and a human being, and worry about the other stuff later. Like, there's a lot of times that there's stuff that I tweeted that, like, you asked me a couple of years ago, I would never said I was going to tweet that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Dude, I have come to the point, and I hate to say this, like when I had my birthday this back in March, and I'm not even 30 yet, I came to a point where I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Half the time. Because here's the reality. Like, I may not like what I see, and I may be misinformed on what I see. But I'm not gonna lie when I say, like, when something seems off, it's gonna seem off. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What's wrong with being wrong?
Yeah.
I learned something new. But I'm not gonna sit there and just be quiet because nobody else is talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not gonna be that guy every single time. Like, oh, this man got 100 gifted subs. You gonna like give him shit? Like, no, I'm not gonna give him shit. He got 100 gifted subs for whatever reason. Like, if someone wants to give him 100 gifted subs, kudos on them. Like, hey yo, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh man, that 100 gifted sub came from an account that looks kind of sus. No, that could be a random Joe Schmo that came from his old Twitch life and now is on a kick and all that. I'm not gonna be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think as streamers in the business, as what I like to call co-workers, like, there's kind of like a level of etiquette that I would like to see from people. Now, watch this. I can't control how other streamers act and react in their personal lives, on social media and all that. If I did, half of these motherfuckers wouldn't be on social media or streaming.
Yep.
That'd be a different story. So I can't control what they do. But what I can control is I can feel comfortable speaking my heart and my mind. If someone doesn't like it, I get it. I'll explain my side of it, and maybe I get my viewpoint changed. And that's like the whole point of these interviews. That's the whole point of these conversations, is that I'm not just here to talk to somebody who has the same viewpoint as me. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to see other different side points. So if someone's like, this is a business, and that's all they say, the first thing I'm going to say is like, yeah, you're not wrong, but also you're a fucking dumbass. I'm sorry. Like, there's more to life than just business. Like, I don't go to work and, fuck all every coworker I have there and marry the coworker. That's the business. Yeah. I'm not going to go to McDonald's and be like, dup, this is the business. No, there's a human aspect to this life and a human aspect to everything we do, because we are presenting ourselves. We are being vulnerable to the stream. We are being vulnerable to our community and all that. And, like, as much as I would like to see every streamer on every platform be the most genuine person and do better for the world, it's not the reality. But it doesn't mean that we can't talk about what positive changes we want to see in people and in other platforms.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Do you have anybody in your chat wanted to ask any questions?
I don't right now.
All right. Skippy does have a question in this one. How do you feel about viewers getting personal, like sharing their bits about their real lives Is this something you feel shouldn't happen less, not at all? I mean, as more than just general chit chat. Ooh, that's okay. So that's a good thing. And like the word that people use a lot in the Twitch world, and I don't know if you've ever heard this. Have you ever heard of trauma dumping?
No.
Trauma dumping was a big like flair word for a while before I came over to Kick, and basically it's people just going into chat and just dumping their personal lives. Like they're like hey, they'll say like hi and be like, oh hey, and I'm just gonna give like a random name. Hey Kane, how you doing? And they're like, oh, not so good. My dog died today. I've had him for 15 years. Also, my wife left me. I work at a McDonald's, so it's shit. No, I can't find a girl that loves me. Nobody really loves me, and all that. And they're just pouring whatever fucking miserable thing is going on in their lives.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird aspect. Like I don't mind. Like, and that comes where that's where that viewer etiquette and that streamer etiquette kind of comes to play. Because some people don't mind wasting their stream talking about personal things. I don't have an issue talking about personal life, but I think it's also on the viewer's point to know when to say something and when to not to say something.
I agree.
Because in the end of the day, like I'm not going into their business and talking about my personal issues. Like I'm not going to go into XYZ's workplace, and when they ask me how I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I'm not XYZ, I lost my job, I lost my dog, I lost my banana farm, I don't know. Like I'm not going to be doing that. Like if it's someone that I'm close to or they ask, that might be one thing. Like there's some, and like I said, if it's someone who I'm close to, usually I'm just going to DM them if I say, hey, I need some help, I need some advice. But as a viewer, like if you don't have that connection with that person, like be cautious of what you say. And even if you do have that connection with that person, like ask I think first you should ask if it's okay if they can share a bit about what's going on with them.
Yeah.
If they don't feel comfortable because they're trying to keep the chat hype and that could like drain everything, you'd be like, hey man, like not to say that I don't care about your feelings. We have something kind of hype going here. Do you mind DMing me what's going on and I could talk to you privately? I don't think most people would have an issue with that.
No, I agree with you. I think it depends on what is being shared. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're just telling me about your day or telling me about I had a bad day or whatever, I have no problem with that. If you're telling me that, your second sister's brother's uncle cheated on his wife and now they're divorced and now you have to move out of the house, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm sorry. Like there's definitely a
Mm-hmm.
line, and I'm always interested to know about people's lives, what's going on, and get to know
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely stuff that I don't want to know about people, and I don't want people
Mm-hmm.
to know about me either.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends, and I agree. Like you know, there is definitely a line where some people should kind of have like an idea of like this is acceptable to say. Like I always equate it
Mm-hmm.
to, would you say this to someone you don't know
Mm-hmm.
in it like face to face, or would you keep it to yourself? If you're gonna keep it to yourself, then you should probably keep it to yourself in the chat too. If you're just
Mm-hmm.
saying like, "Hey, I had a bad day, work sucked," we can all relate to that, right? But if
Yeah.
if you tell me like I had a bad day, my husband left me, and my dog died, and my dad died all on the same day,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's awkward to answer a question like that or like to talk about that. And I agree. Like if that's the kind of thing, then just say like, hey, like if you are, I'll always kind of say if you ever need anything, I'm a DM away, and that's probably something
Mm-hmm.
that could be in a DM. But there's
Mm-hmm.
also people in chat that might honestly leave because they don't want the chat turning into like a sob
Right.
type of story and spending the entire stream talking about stuff like that. So it's definitely a line to it. But I would say
Yeah.
some personal info for sure. Like I'd like to know about their lives
Mm-hmm.
without too much detail.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line, and I
Mhm.
think like you kind of like pinpoint on that. Like, I don't mind knowing if like some personal things, but I think there's some things that should be left either to a DM or not spoken at all.
Yeah.
Like, and like how you said, like you're always a DM away. Like I tell people all the time, I don't mind talking about it, but I'm going to talk about it with the time that I have and the energy that I have. And if I can't give you that time or energy, I'm not going to lie to you and say I don't want like I have it and not give it to you.
Yeah.
Because like at the end of the day, it's like I don't know if you felt this before, but like, have you ever talked to somebody and they tell you like all the sad things going on and it just physically, emotionally, and mentally just drains you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not even going through it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it does take a toll. And think about like that's just one person. Think about if you had like 5 people or 10 people or 15 people going through all this, and it's just mentally exhausting. Like, I don't mind talking to people about what's going on and trying to help them out or kind of like give them like a cheer up or whatever. But there also comes a point where you have to understand that there's a point where I like to call reading the room.
Yeah.
Like, if the chat's hype and you're feeling down, like, probably not the best indication to talk about your feelings and what's going on. Not that we don't want to know or we don't care, but like, you're not. Are you going to go to a party and then just be a sad sob in the entire party? Are you going to go watch a Marvel movie and there's a hype scene and you're like, oh man, I miss XYZ, I miss my girlfriend? Like, probably not. Like, you're gonna let people enjoy the movie for what it is, and the same thing goes with streaming. Like, I think there you have to let people enjoy what's going on. Like, if you like I said, if there's nothing really happening and you want to talk to them and you don't feel, if you don't mind, that's one thing. But if
Yeah.
you're trying to keep the entertainment of the chat, you kind of have to like minimize and say, hey, I'd rather just keep it to a DM. Send me a DM. I don't mind talking to you about this like off stream.
So we had a response to that. What about the streamer that does it, not a viewer?
That just talks about like their personal life all the time.
Yeah.
See, that's that moral ground line that it's a gray area, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because some people I've seen on Twitch, they will do just chatting and just bitch about all the shitty things that are going on in their lives, and they'll use that to farm views and attention and talk about whatever and get like the woe is me pity subs and all that. And I know people who will just be like having a rough day, and all of a sudden someone comes into their chat and it just like changes their mood and they want to talk about it, and that person in their chat lifts their spirits. It's a very fine gray area. Like, there's no real like yes you should do it or yes you shouldn't do it. I think as an entertainer, as a streamer, as a content creator, I don't think there's an issue with talking about personal things in your life if you feel comfortable. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, hey Vit, let's talk about,
Yeah.
let me make up something, I'm not gonna talk about you losing your house. Like, even though you tweeted about it, I'm not gonna say, hey, let's talk about you losing your house. You doing okay, buddy? Like, probably the streamer does not want to talk about shit on stream right now. They're trying to like distract their minds. They're trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
They're trying not to think about what shitty thing is happening in their life.
Yeah. I agree.
But
I
but
think it's. I think it's if you're comfortable talking about that thing, then by all means, if that's what you want to spend your stream, talk about it. I I personally think it's I like to hear people's side of how they're feeling,
mm-hmm,
and what they're feeling as a person. Um, as the
mm-hmm,
viewer in that point, I think you'll just it depends on you. Like if you're the viewer and the streamer's talking about that kind of stuff, if you genuinely care about the person, then I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna
mm-hmm,
try to support as much as I can. Because I
mm-hmm,
think at the same time you're also seeing it's kind of a catch 22 almost because you're seeing the real side of that streamer,
mm-hmm,
but it's also like you don't want to if that now if that was their stream if that was like a one they talk about something very personal one time on stream or something like that and they're having a tough time and they're super support. Yes, if every single stream that they ever have in their entirety of streaming ends up them talking about it, then that's a different story.
mm-hmm,
um if they can express their emotions to their viewers and the viewers will support them,
mm-hmm.
yes. But I'm not going to watch someone who every single stream after stream after stream after stream is like that, though.
Oh,
So
absolutely,
I think it's
100%.
definitely there's definitely levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And like I said, like for us who don't enjoy that content, it might not be your thing, but some people might use that to be like the woe is me pity party and get
Yeah,
like those kind of pity views or pity subs. So it might be their line of work because they know they can manipulate people into doing that.
yeah,
So I personally don't like people who do that on purpose. Like, if it comes naturally, you just talk about it, that's one thing. But I think like at the same time, like as a streamer, like it's one thing to be personable with your audience and your viewers and your community, but it doesn't have to be like an everyday thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't think everybody wants to know every time I'm depressed or I'm thinking about XYZ.
yeah. Because a lot of
But
times
at this,
people use it to get a break from that stuff.
absolutely.
They use that time to get a break from whatever they're feeling bad about or depressed about. Is they're going to their stream and they're going to. It's almost like a fantasy land isn't the word I'm thinking of, but it's almost like a fantasy for them. Like they're
It's a getaway. It's an escape.
yeah, exactly, an escape for them that they're like, all right, I get to like kind of be in my own little world and stream to people and have a fun time without having to think about these kind of things that are going bad in my life.
Exactly. Morningstar actually asked a great question. I think we're probably going to have the same point, but I like to see what you say. What are your views on people self promoting in chats? Like they say for them, they don't like it, but that's why I have shout outs. But what's your input on this? I'm going to just say it straight up. Like, I'm not coming into your business promoting what I do. Like, if we both, like, for example, we both have a donut shop, I'm not coming into your donut shop saying, hey, people, come to my donut shop. The same thing goes for him. He's not going to come to my donut shop and tell people, "Hey, come to my donut shop." I think it's up to the streamer's responsibility to shout out whoever they want to shout out.
Yeah.
I think I have an ongoing joke with like my mods. So like I tell my mods like if we're fucking around, we're having fun. Like and I say, "Hey, shout someone out," and you shout yourself out. I'm going to give you shit. I don't care. It's funny, but like we need to help these, like, I want to shout these people out because I like they're supporting me.
Yeah.
Like you like and like don't feel bad for telling somebody, hey, we do not self promote in chat.
Yeah.
That's, like I said, that's like coming into somebody else's business, doing the exact same thing and trying to implement, like they're basically trying to steal what you're doing to their business.
Yeah.
I have no issue, me as a streamer or my mods, shouting out somebody when they feel comfortable, because that's why they're there. I give them that power because they can discern that from themselves, and I trust their discernment.
Yeah.
But you should never go into somebody else's chat, in my opinion, and be like, "Hey, by the way, come to my channel," or XYZ.
Yeah. If you're going in there for the sole purpose to self promote, then absolutely not. If but it's like I said earlier, if you came into my stream and you had just finished streaming, like if I ask you about your stream, then that's different than you just coming in and just dropping something about your stream. If I say, "Hey, how was your stream?" and you say, "My stream was good," I'm not going to care at that point because I was the one who initiated the conversation about your stream.
Yeah,
If if it's if someone just comes in and just says, "Man, my stream just popped off today," I'm be like, "All right, man, that's cool, but
yeah,
we don't need to be talking about that right now."
mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. And that's like kind of like going back to my tweet. But a lot of times it's the people that you don't know is the ones who do it.
Mm-hmm.
The people who come into your stream that are there a lot and right? I'm gonna ask you just because I know that's what you do and that's what we have in common, and we all kind of respect each other that we're not going to talk about it unless we're asked about it. So there's definitely depends on who it is for me. In that case, if it's something like I said, someone I know, I don't care. I'll talk to them about it. I'll ask them how their stream was, and then at that point, they can talk about it. I mean, like me
Mm-hmm.
personally, sometimes I go into someone's chat and they'll be like, "Hey, how are you? How was your stream?" And I'll be like, "Well, it's not. This isn't my stream. This is about your stream.
Mm-hmm.
We're focused on you today, on tonight, or right now. Like that's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't need anybody from your group coming over and following
Mm-hmm.
me and stuff like that, right? If they find me organically, they find me organically. But I'm not. I'm gonna focus on you as I'm a viewer now, so I'm focusing on you.
Yeah.
For the most
I
part.
like that. I like that mindset you have right there. Just because, like, I don't like even if I'm like offline, I just finish a stream and I go to like one of my buddies' channels or whatever. Then we're just talking. I don't I don't feel comfortable talking about my stream unless they engage. And even if they engage, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm here for you. Let's not
Yeah,
talk about this. It's like I'm off the clock. I don't want to talk about work. I want to fucking vibe out, do whatever.
yeah, I agree. I'll just be like, it was good, but we're here
But
for
yeah,
you
like,
right now.
yeah, it was good. Don't worry about me.
Yeah,
How are you doing today? What's going on with the
exactly.
games? Whatever. Ooh, here's another interesting one. I think could be really funny. But what about the people who come into your streams and just put like, yeah, getting my stream ready, just stopping by,
I think that's the same
kind of mentality, kind of like self
mentality.
promoting without self promoting.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. But again, I think In my experience, it's always people that I never see that do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's never people that I know that do that. It's always people I never see that do it. So,
Yeah.
and that's why it's like, well, I know why you stopped by chat. It's not because you're you're seeing how stream is. It's because you're getting ready to stream and you want viewers. That's the difference. If you're never here unless you're getting ready to stream.
Exactly.
So
And like I said, like that's kind of like just a toxic, manipulative way of getting people to kind of go to that person's channel, and that's like what the hell? Like most people that we know in like that we connect with or have any kind of remote connection with would for like 99% of them would never come into your stream and be like, I got you up while I'm getting my stream ready. Like, yeah, no one would really do that if you have that genuine connection with them. It's only the people who either don't want a genuine connection or like you said, like a random, or even like people who are new to the stream or who don't understand that kind of etiquette. And usually, like if you talk to somebody or they have like a general talk to somebody, like, hey, like this, like not to be a dick, but like this is like a no-go kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, sorry, didn't mean to do. I won't do it again. Like, yeah, you're like, I'm not mad at you, but like. That's like I said, coming into somebody else's place of business, doing the exact same thing, and be like, "Hey guys, I know you're like trying to buy your donuts here, but like I'm about to go start up my donut shop. Why don't you come over by me?" Kind of thing,
it's all
without
about
saying
intent.
it.
It's all about intent, and you can read intent pretty quick.
Yeah, unlike how Dark said, it feels like some sort of disrespect towards the streamer. It kind of is, and like I said, without knowing the intent, it does that. It is, but like I think most people can read the intent and understand. Like I said, newer streamers, and I know they're newer streamers, may not know, and I might talk to them, and if they understand, they know, like they'll just say, "Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I didn't even think about it like that way. Won't do it again." Like, dude, you're cool. Don't worry. Like, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to say you have me up. You're supporting me.
Yep. I agree.
But yeah, it's just a wild ride. Okay, so before we end tonight, Vit, final question. Well, two final questions. One's really stupid and one's really meaningful. The stupid one will come first. Apple juice or orange juice?
Oh.
And then let me say this: it's not just a breakfast; it's an all around. You can only pick one. Any time of day, you can mix it with stuff. You can use it with other things, whatever you want.
Oh, we're talking about mixing with stuff now. Fuck that. See.
Yeah, you can apply it to anything you want, day or night, breakfast, lunch, dinner, on the go, not on the go, whatever you want. But you have to choose one: apple juice or orange juice.
I'm going apple juice.
All right, pulp or no pulp?
No pulp.
the fact that you had to think about that for a minute. Have you ever had apple juice with pulp?
No, actually, they don't have pulp. Now, see, now you're fucking with me.
So actually,
do they have pulp in it?
I was playing Valorant one day, and there was a guy who was from Russia, and I asked. That's always my icebreaker question: apple juice or orange juice. Like I always ask that as an icebreaker. And the guy was like, apple juice. And then he goes, wait, do you mean pulp or no pulp? And I like look at him, I'm like, the fuck are you smoking, bro? And he's like, no, like where I'm from, they have like pulpy apple juice. And I was like, fuck no, they don't. And he sent me a link where I can buy in America pulpy apple juice from Russia. And I just looked at this link and I said, this is the most cursed thing I've ever seen in my life. But now I have to ask people because it's funny as hell.
But now, like, orange juice, though, I do love a good mimosa. So...
Hot take, I think mimosas are so fucking overrated.
Really?
Oh, I think they're just they're just the Starbucks white girl drink of the fucking alcoholic.
They are so basic.
I am not saying that they're not good. I think they're overrated 100%. I think there are plenty of drinks that you could drink during the day that are way better than a mimosa. But that's just me personally. Like if someone gives me mimosa or we order it for the table, I'm not gonna turn it down.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, we gotta do a midday drink, what are we drinking? I'm probably gonna grab like a hard Mountain Dew.
Yeah, if we're midday, I'm not drinking a mimosa. But if I'm having a little brunch, I'm chucking a mimosa down. Easy.
Exactly. All right, and now the final thing that I want to impart onto you, that we've talked about many different opinions, we've talked about many different viewpoints, we've asked questions from chat and all that, under like up, down, left, and right. But now it comes time to ask you personally, like, what do you want to see out of Kick, out of streaming, out of viewers, out of anything? Like, what is the one thing you would love to see happening right now?
Are you talking about my goals or just like
No, I mean it could be your goals. It could be just kind of like your passions. Like so, like I'll go off of me first. Like
Yeah.
for me, I don't want to see Kick end up like Mixer. I don't want to see streaming end up as another gateway for people to get lazy because they're, they didn't find success off of one platform and, they're not finding success with another. I want people to thrive on here as best they can. I want content creators to thrive in a new environment. I want genuine connection for people. But most of all, I want people in general to be genuine, like how we've been talking about all night.
Yeah.
I think even past like some of these people who hide their real identity behind a persona, let's say like a VTuber or a fake name or whatever, I think it's not hard to just be genuine. I know we're going to always have bad snakes in the ground. I know we're always going to have those people who are just here for the money bags and all that. But to the people who do listen to this thing, I think like the number one thing I want for people to listen to out of anything is just be you, be real, and build those connections, whether it's with your audience, whether it's with other streamers. Like just be who you are meant to be. We're all meant to be on different paths and different roads. So like just because I'm not verified doesn't mean I'm not trying to get there, and just because Vit's verified doesn't mean he needs to slow down until I get there. We're all on different life paths for a reason, and we're all doing different things for a reason. So don't compare yourself to one way or another. Be you and be on your path and work from there.
Yeah. I think for me is to see I want to see more genuine people pop up on a daily basis, left and right, every time I turn around. That's what I want Kick to come and turn into. Is I want the bad apples, not the bad apples, but the people, some people to slowly dissipate, and I want the good ones to be rewarded for their successes and be rewarded for being just a good human being is what I want to see. Um, and my one of my goals is to continue to connect with my viewers and let them see me as a person, me as a
Mm-hmm.
streamer, me as a friend. Um, and kind of have this like funny joke now that Elrod started, or Daddy Vit to everybody, which is ridiculous.
I love
But
Daddy Bit. That's a great name for you.
but just continue to like I said before, my entire goal of streaming in general is just to make people smile and have them have a good time. And if that means that I can go into someone's stream that's got 2 viewers and I can sit there and talk with them and get them to smile and have fun for a little bit and kind of change their mood, then that's what I want to do. I want to be able to just, you know, leave a positive influence on people, to know that like he cared about me more than just my viewer count or just my number or just my beard or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want
Mm-hmm.
him to actually care about me as a person.
Absolutely. Well, Vit, I want to first of all thank you for being not only the first person we interview, but being so willing to talk about some of these things. Like, I think it's kind of easy to talk about some like the easier things like networking and all that, but even answering some of the hardball questions, even saying your opinion,
Yeah.
can always be, a scary thing at times. Some people don't care. Some people really do care. So first of all, thank you for coming out here today. Thank you for even giving me the time of day for this. I really do appreciate you not only doing that, but you as a human being. I personally love watching your content when I can. I personally love you as a human being because you're always real, and that's what I think a lot more people respect about you and respect about what's going on.
I appreciate
And I
that.
hope the endeavors that you take on, not only in streaming but in life, bring you fruitfulness. And I hope that whatever journey you do decide to go down, if you continue doing streaming, if you want to take a break or whatever,
Yeah.
that you see whatever success that you need to see, and the love and support that you give to people should always be tenfold back to you, man.
I appreciate that, man. That's super kind of you. I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. I had a blast, and I know we had talked about, hey, it's gonna be like an hour, and now we're
Yeah.
like two and
Yeah,
a
now
half
we're
hours into this.
like that. That's the thing, is that like I
This was
I don't
awesome.
want to. Dude, these are the conversations I like to have with people. Like these are the things I like to do with people. It's like I say an hour because if somebody wants to go play a game or they have something
Yeah.
else planned, I don't want to hold them back
Yeah.
because there's a million things we could talk about when it comes to streaming, content creation, everything like
Yeah.
that. But I want it to be more tailored to how we interact with each other. I want to be more tailored to stuff that you say, some of the hardball questions, some of the just interesting thoughts and how we present ourselves. Like there's so many things, like I said, we could talk about. But like I said, we're 2 hours and 45 minutes in.
Yeah,
We could go for like 3-4 hours talking
we
about all
could.
this stuff like that. But in the end scheme of things, I think it was just generally just an enjoyable conversation.
fun.
And that's the thing is that like you bring an aspect to me that I don't get to see.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you're also verified. You've also been around the game for so much. So I don't know your perspectives. I don't know your outputs. And that's the whole point of these podcasts. That's the whole point of the series I want to bring in. I want to get to a point where I start talking to people of many different backgrounds, many different outcomes, and get their perspective. Because, like I said, like the next person that we have in line, and I am going to butcher her name, and you might yell at me, but I'm not gonna be mad because I'm horrible with this. Versailles, I think is how you say it.
Yep.
Yeah, Versailles is going to be our next guest on. So sneak peek, guys. Next guest on is going to be Versailles.
She's awesome.
She's an amazing being. But like I said, one of the things that I don't get to experience, I mean, it's kind of obvious, is that being a woman in the streaming world.
That's gonna be an
Like
interesting one.
she yeah, like I'm not like I want to know her perspective on this. I want to know her outcome on things because not only is she affiliate on Kick, but she just also got affiliate on Twitch. So I want to know what she sees between the two different platforms. I want to see what she goes through as a female content creator because not every female content creator has the same outcome. Some of them have way different outcomes.
Yeah.
And like I said, as a guy, I don't get to see some of that stuff. Yeah. So I would love to see different perspectives, different outcomes, different things. And like I said, right now we're doing Kick streamers, you being the first one, obviously. But we're going to be going into other forms of content. Like I have a lady, I have to reach out to her this week, but she also does adult content. And I want to know her perspective on, since people know that she does adult content for like OnlyFans and like stuff like that, does that affect her streaming life and streaming personality? Like, I genuinely have this general idea that like men are creeps on the internet. You'll find some genuine good ones, but men are fucking horn dogs on the internet. Yep. So if they see a cute female and they play video games, it's fucking game over. You're gonna have the creepiest creeper of all time. They're gonna be like, you play Apex? Show me your toes. It's like, what? No, the fuck. Like that's my thought on it. But like I could be talking to any one of them and be like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is this? Like, no, I don't have any bad issues. I have great interactions with people. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just, seeing the bad from the bad examples. Exactly.
Absolutely. That's going to be, those are two good ones. That'll be definitely interesting to hear. I'm excited to tune into those for sure. But I appreciate you having me on. I had a blast.
Dude, I had a blast too. We'll definitely have to do this more or even just play games more often, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.